Warning. All stories could be completely made up, and we have no way to confirm that. Any and all names mentioned in the show are most likely fake. We at Campfire Moto Stories are not journalists and should not be considered as much. If you're offended by anything said or shown in this episode, we don't care. But we encourage you to voice your opinion so we can laugh at the fact that you can't control your emotions. This program contains full language, and I recommend no one to watch or listen to this.
The views and opinions expressed in the program are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the sponsor, any advertisers, or the sponsor's affiliates, employees, or partners.
Coming to you live from the Claremont Lounge in Atlanta, Georgia, it's Campfire Moto Stories.
Hey everyone, welcome to Campfire Moto Stories. I'm Anthony Bennett, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today for our live show. This YouTube show / podcast is all about sharing amazing motorcycle stories from everyday riders like you. Whether it's an epic ride, a funny mishap, or an unforgettable adventure, we want to hear it all. Today, we have some fantastic guests in the studio who we'll introduce in just a moment, where we'll dive into their riding stories. Plus, we have exciting segments lined up, including pre-recorded interviews, tech tips, spotlight a stolen bike, and stories sent in by you through the website and or phone line. I'll have the phone lines on, so make sure to call in anytime, especially if it has something funny to do with our guest. Lastly, you'll get to hear an awesome story from my 5-year-old son about riding. May or may not be completely made up. But hey, 5-year-old can tell a great story, so can you. Let's get it started.
They had a meeting.
Another lap around the wall, another request, another call. All I hear is need, I can't reply to all. I feel the strain, I fall behind, I sacrifice my precious time. All I ever get is never really mine. Money versus true love. Versus something real.
Hey, there we go. Forgot to turn the mute off. I got some very sad news last night as I was setting up for this show to make sure everything was going to go well. She was basically like a second mother to me. Her husband, Gif, and her 3 kids and granddaughter are like a second family to me as well. I'm very much at a loss of words, but Shelby and Chase and Carrie, Gif, I know you guys are going through a tough time, and I just want to say that I'm really thinking about you guys, and I'm at a loss of words. So their mom and Gif's wife, Sue, as I said, was like a second mom to me. They own the Cowie dealership that I went and worked at when I was 18, fresh out of high school by about a few months, and helped them actually start the dealership from closed to open. We built this awesome Daytona-ish like downtown inside the Cowie dealership. And I changed my profile picture on my Facebook and Instagram to a Corona and BC powder. And I wanted to tell that quick story to kind of just one of the funniest things that she always gave me shit about. So riding at our buddy Billy Bott, he was one of our coworkers, and we got done riding, and I was 20. I don't think I was even 21 yet. I never really even drank till I was 21. So we get done riding, and somebody asked me if I had a Corona before, and I said no. So I had a Corona, just one. And then I had just a splitting headache too. I was very dehydrated, more than likely. And I took a BC powder from somebody. And I don't know what happened, but I was so hung over the next day, I couldn't function for more than half of the day. I went into Sue's office. I just turned the lights off while she was working, and I just went to sleep. I slept for about 3-4 hours or so, and it was just something that always cracked me up. But she was an amazing woman. She'll be dearly missed, and I just want to say that. I even found the old t-shirt from the dealership we worked at. I can't zoom in on it, but it says WFO, and if you don't know, WFO stands for wide fucking open. So anyways, I'm going to start the show now. I just wanted to say my condolences, and just an awesome woman. She's going to be missed. So hope you guys enjoy the show. I'll still be in the chats live. Might have some other interesting stuff coming up soon, trying to put some stuff together. So we'll see about that. So back to the show. Hey, welcome to Campfire Moto Stories. I'm your host, Anthony Bennett, and we're here live at CKB Motocross, and I don't even know if you can call it CKB Motocross. What, this CKB Landscaping?
You can call it CKB Friends and Family.
Friends and Family, that's right.
That keeps us politically correct with the neighbors.
You don't seem too much like a politically correct kind of guy, though.
Well, they shut me down and fined me, so I tried to find a little correctness there to be able to ride again.
So I always like to start with a little icebreaker. So I usually reach out to a few people, see if I can get some stories and stuff like that. And
Right.
Keith's background is a little bit of road racing. So I was told to ask you about your high side on pit road at Little Talladega, never making it on the track due to a broken collarbone, and it being like 20 degrees.
You only got part of the story.
That's why we're here, to get the whole story.
So the whole story on that was I was testing bikes for Daytona.
Okay.
And I had a new R6 and I had a new GSX-R 750, both race prepped and ready. So I had my mechanic there, and we had tire warmers on the R6. So I jump out there and I'm ripping around and we get it dialed in and shooting down good lap times. Everything was good. And why he didn't put the tire warmers on the 750, I don't know. But I come off onto hot pit. In my mind, the 750 tires are hot from the tire warmers. So I jump on the 750, I go ripping down the road, and right before Little Talladega puts you back on the track, I wick it up. All I remember is hearing the tires spin, looking at the sky, and then I'm laying on the ground. And so I just got my new leathers because I had just broken my neck and healed from that one. And just had my new barnacle bills, my speedy leathers, and it was looking good. And I'm laying there, and the paramedic comes over. He's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." And he looks at me. He goes, "All right, give me your arm, and I'll lift you up." And so I go to lift my left arm, like, "Oh no, something's wrong." So he reaches his hand down in my leathers. He's like, "Yeah, you'll be going to the hospital, bayonet fracture of the collarbone." So we get to I don't remember the ride. I don't remember coming out of my leathers at the hospital. All I remember is the doctor throwing up my x-ray and showing me, and he goes, "Yep, you won't be racing Daytona." And so my first question is, tell me you didn't cut my leathers off, right? And so the nurse is like, "I don't know how you pulled your arm out of those leathers, but you were adamant, nobody's cutting these leathers." And she said, "You pulled your arm out." And I'm like, sweet, right? So Daytona, eight days later, figure 4 cross brace on me, and raced the whole weekend with a gap of about a half an inch between the bone and the bayonet fracture.
Is it still sticking up or no?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a nice little pin right here. Not like that. Mine's a sharp edge. So when it healed, it kind of.
That's what mine did.
And then it got a calcium deposit underneath, but up top it's just the point.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something funny is at Daytona, I'm on the 750 and I'm qualifying. And so I go out, and this is the first round. And so I'm on the 750 and I come up between, you come up on between NASCAR 1 and 2 out of the infield, go through 2, you go ripping down the back straightaway and you throw it into the chicane. So when you're, buck 20 going in the entrance of the chicane, you're counter steering. So you're literally pulling the bike to the right while you're leaning into the left for the, for the entry into the corner. And I'm going in and I feel this. And I'm going, what is that? And I'm fixated on this knocking noise coming from my body. Then I realize it's my collarbone clacking, but I got so much adrenaline, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
I look up, blow the chicane, go through the grass, save it, get on the apron, go around the apron, catch my breath, and kind of clean myself up, and then go out for the next hot lap and go after, qualifying position. So it did that the whole weekend. It was really interesting.
So do you want to guess who sent me the story to bring that up as your icebreaker?
I don't know. I don't know who would know that.
Well, he was a guest on my show at one time.
Brian.
It wasn't Stokes.
No?
No, it was Crozier. Mark Crozier.
He would remember it.
Yeah, so I text him. I text Opie. Yeah. I worked with Opie at one time, and you should watch his show.
I got
His
a
show
good
is
story
pretty
about
good.
Opie.
Ooh, well, we'll get into that one
Yeah.
right now then.
So, when Opie was, him and Josh Hayes had moved up to expert and all, and we were doing, it was a Weir weekend, Savannah, Roebling Road.
Yep.
And so I was the fast novice. So we jump off in the 2-wave race, and I pass everybody. I pass all of the experts, and I get up and I get up on Opie. And so I don't know if it was his defensive line or if it's just the line he would take. But going into turn 1, he had this strange line where all of a sudden he cut all the way across the inside of the track, and where I was going to go. And, so I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to shoot up the inside because then he's going to hit me. We're both going to crash. I'm going to be the bad guy.
Is Bud
Lauder
a part of this story?
He wasn't in that race.
Okay. Yeah, he just said to bring up him and that at Roebling Road, late 90s era. So
And so after the race, Chris comes up and he says, Opie, he comes up and he's like,
don't call him that.
I know. So Opie's like, he's like, dude, you're a yellow plate. Don't stay up on us like that. You make us look bad. And I was like, and I'm thinking, I'm just I'm a fairly fast novice, and I'm thinking to myself, go faster. But of course they were super fast, and But in that track, I was good, and I had good lines, and he couldn't shake me off, and it was the novice and Opie, barreling around the track. It was good times.
Yeah, Opie's he's a hell of a freaking road racer.
Oh no,
man.
absolutely.
Yeah. And it's funny because looking at him,
nope,
you don't think so. And also, like when I was Chris Turner, when he did a show with me, he said that he went up to Opie the first time to meet him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking for Opie." And he's just eating crackers like on Cheese Whiz. He's like, "Yeah,
absolutely,
that's me."
No, he was a very unassuming road racer, but super fast.
Yeah. Good dude too.
You never think he'd be a flatlander either. See him ride flatland?
Yeah, oh yeah. Plenty of times.
I wouldn't have thought that either.
Yeah, he brought the bike to a shop we were working at together one time, and it had a real nice downhill, and he literally would just be on the front wheel, holding the rear wheel, holding the seat, doing all
at
kinds.
that too.
I was like, yeah. He got to do when he was doing One Fast Move. Stokes was a part of that movie as well.
Right.
He got to. Oh my God, who's the guy from Red? Eddie from the movie Rad. Oh my God.
Oh.
The movie was based basically on him.
Are you talking about Eddie Viola?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God. I don't know why I was thinking like blocking his name. For some reason, I want to say Lozenge, and I'm like, no, that's not it. But so Eddie Viola was part of that movie, and his daughter happened to find him in the cast and was like, he's part of this, and then like found him the next day and told him like he's big into flatland bikes, and he's like, "You still got bikes?" He goes, "Yeah, bring it tomorrow." And they had a session.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
that's
he was
so cool.
do you imagine that? Like a movie that helped
and he's
shape
legend.
what he was.
Eddie's legend.
Getting to do that. Yeah, awesome. All right, so we went a little off track with some of the flow that I had going here, but I love that. It's fine.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But the next part 2 icebreaker question that I had is, do you ever have a shirt on for photos for Facebook? So I creep to find pictures and find other things like to make the thumbnail. And as I'm going through, I'm like, oh, damn, this guy doesn't ever have a shirt on. I'm getting a boner.
You're creeping photos of like in Puerto Rico and so yeah, at the tropical spots. Nah, not so much. There's going to be a day I can't pull it off.
So you're getting it
Just
in
not
while you
today.
can. Yeah.
Well, that was after he got done riding today. He still got his Band-Aids over his nipples. I was like, dude, you should do the show like that.
Right?
And he's like, you think I should? He's like, what'd you say about Keith not having his shirt on? Because it was like, hell yeah, he has a reason not to have a shirt on.
I said, well, Keith always has his shirt off, and he said, well, he's got a reason to. And I was like, ooh, that was harsh. The truth hurts, And for Christmas, my wife got me heart and butterfly Band-Aids for me to wear while I'm riding now. Because I can't wear the under chest or the under T-shirts with my under chest protector, and I have sensitive nipples, so I've got to wear the Band-Aids. Other than that,
You saying that they're hard like BBs all the time?
no, they're very soft and supple. But yeah, I just don't like stuff rubbing on them. was thinking about maybe some piercings and like to just use those.
Well, then they're going to be hard all the time.
I know, right?
I couldn't get it pierced. I have been saying for a while now that I actually want to make circular Band-Aids that look like nipples. The assortment. You can get some black ones. You get some Amazon-style ones, some big ones, some little tiny ones. So just all kinds of different ones. Some hairy ones, and then just
that might be something for the moto community. That might be a niche where you can make some bucks.
Between that and runners, I think that would actually do something. So, I don't know. I could literally make hundreds of dollars with this idea, I think.
Hundreds.
So,
Yeah, hundreds.
And for the small investment of $49.95. I mean, I lost $4,700, but I did sell $100 worth.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's a profit in his eyes.
Right.
So what does CKB stand for?
Well, that's a tricky question. So back in the day, I was, I'm a 17-year-old, and I had to come up with a name for a business license, and so it ended up is that nickname for my then soon to be now ex-wife, and then for me, Keith, and then my dad, who was all through the 70s, he's a preacher, and he always permed his hair, right? So I have 3 other brothers, so there's 4 of us. So his nickname was Curly. That was Curly, Keith, and Barbie.
Ah.
Right? And it was just my grandpa was like, you don't need to work for nobody. You need to do your own thing. And so I had to go down and get a license to be able to do my little grass cutting company. And of course, the first wife had to go by the wayside. And then my dad got straight hair now. So I'm the only one left that really represents the CKB, but it does bring up interesting conversation because people will make up all kinds of things trying to figure it out. And I'm like, no, if you guess it right, I'll tell you, but don't nobody ever guess it right.
I did assume the K was for Keith, but I had zero clue about the other ones. And I was trying to think of how it could work into landscaping or, something along those lines, or even, what's it called for trees?
Horticulture?
Yeah. I just kept thinking of different ones like that. And I was like, I got nothing.
See, it stumps everybody.
Yeah.
At this point, 39 years later, they ask him it's whatever you want it to be. It means nothing. It's just 3 initials that I randomly pulled up out,
Because I was even it's Central Georgia, but no, that maybe the C works for that. I was like, no, because there's no G in there. I was like, I don't know. So,
my dad still has an active role. His active role is about 10 years ago, he wanted to be somehow some kind of an advisor or whatever, right? Basically, it was an excuse to keep giving him a paycheck forever. And he's like, I'll work 2 days during the week or whatever, help you run errands, whatever you need. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, that's about 3 weeks. He's been collecting for 10 years now.
Hey, it seemed to work, right?
My HR manager's like, well, what is this for? Your dad shows up twice a week and has a cup of coffee with you in your office. I'm pretty much paying him for that.
So, actually, I'm skipping this next one because the next one was about your dad. So I was going to ask how he was part of your racing, and I was going to ask if he's still with us, but obviously still is. So that's
they live in that
hear.
White House up on the hill.
Awesome. And actually, when I was creeping on your Facebook stuff, I was curious, is that him? Oh, I got to move it to the other screen.
That's
Hold
him.
on. Yeah.
They say it looks like Sean O'Connor.
Yeah.
Or Sean Connor.
Yeah, I could see that actually.
Yep.
But I could also see a resemblance in both of you guys in that picture. So I was like, I'm pretty sure that is. So funny enough, I text Stoke that picture because I remember him saying something about your dad as well, but I must have had it mixed up when he talked about buying the F2 from you. And when I'd sent them that, he's like, I said, hey, is this Keith's dad? He goes, I have no clue. So I'm like, what the hell? So then I realized that I remember that story wrong.
I don't think he was ever at a race.
Really?
Yeah. No, for a long time in the earlier years of me racing, they lived in California. So they weren't around. And then I think we were at Road Atlanta one time, and my mom and dad come, pouring down rain, right? And so I was up 3 or 4 races later, and my mom's sitting there. We got our canopy right at the front, right at the front road. And this class goes by. There's like, the front straight at Road Atlanta has like a little drainage across it.
Mm-hmm.
And like 6 bikes crashed, and the bikes just go slide. My mom looks at that. She watches that. She's like, "That's it, Joe. Go to the car." They left. They never saw me race. She couldn't handle it, and it was just perfect timing that, the front 6 guys crash right in front of us. But it was rain, so it's not like you get hurt in the rain. You just slide a lot.
Yeah, at least you're going a little bit slower too. But
Maybe a little bit. Straight away, yeah.
Now, what year was that?
That would have been 97.
Okay, so they had the motocross track out in the middle.
They did.
Yep.
They did that gravity cavity.
Is that where the motocross came in, or were you into motocross before that?
I was first bike when I was 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I forgot to introduce Jaron. He's going to sit and co-host with us. He wanted to talk some muscle car stuff.
Hey, that's all good. This is his podcast.
Look, I'm out of my element not doing this live and being in the studio. This is a little bit weird because I'm so used to, I got like a method to it. So even then it's C+ at best. So. But yeah, so what were you saying as far as the moto stuff goes?
Well, it's just, I was asking when you started riding, you said you got your first bike at the age of 6.
Yep.
So what was the first bike then?
It was a RM80.
Okay, very cool.
And it was a little night. Remember back then? Well, you guys don't remember back then. Back then.
Well, what year?
Well, I mean, let's see. I'm 57, so I don't know. It was a long time ago. 51 years ago. Yeah, you guys weren't here.
No.
So
I'm 85.
So the little RM80s back in the day, they were so small. I mean, a 6-year-old could get on an RM80 and they'd go ride it. And so that was the first bike that I got on, was the RM80. My older brother, he was already racing expert at the time out in California, and we were out there when Johnny O was out there, and you'd go out to Prairie City and they had the tracks out there, and you'd see the top pros out there with their race vans, because there weren't big race haulers at the back then.
Right.
But he'd have there'd be the big Mako trailer, big Mako van, and then the Honda van, and so you go out there and ride with them. Yeah, it's super cool.
So it was dirt bike and then transitioned into the street bikes?
Got my first street bike when I was 15 and a half.
Okay.
Suzuki GS 550 ES.
2-stroke, right?
No, it's 4-stroke.
Okay.
But that was the first, street bike that I got on, with the exception of when I was 13. My dad had a Suzuki GT 380 2-stroke triple.
That's not the 550. No, that's
they had a 380.
Right?
No, it was 380.
Or that's 1100.
Which one?
This one here on the screen.
Oh, yeah, that's actually that's 750.
That's the 750.
Yeah.
Okay. A guy that I actually know that has he sells the Chinese things out of the Ace near me.
Mm-hmm.
He just found one of those in mint condition in somebody's just basement.
That was a cool bike.
Yeah. It needed to be cleaned up. Once you got it cleaned up and running, the thing's.
I stripped it down and raced
Great.
that one too. Everything I got my hands on, I strip it off, throw some body work on it, and go race it.
Well, it's if you're saying that, I hope you're not doing that with your car collection.
No, we don't touch the cars.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not messing with the car. In fact, it's probably it'll probably dishearten you, but I just want to get in them and roast the tires off them. And if they break, I want someone else to fix them.
Yeah.
That's just kind of where I'm at in life
with
right
cars.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, found this 69 Camaro, you could restore this. Yeah, no, I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
I don't have time for all that.
Yeah.
With everything going on, it's like, no, I want to be able to get in it. I want it to start. I want to be able to go smoke the tires. I want to be able to park it. And next time I get in it, I want it to start again.
Right.
Aside from that, I don't want to do nothing else. I don't want to clean it. I just don't. Too many years of doing that.
Well, it's you've gotten to that stage in life now too, where you can afford those amenities and everything, and be able to have the hot rods and things like that.
On every Friday, we got a detailing guy that brings by a full detail setup, and he does all the hot rod cars and stuff. And I had a friend that had come by, and he's like, man, what, you called them to come do your cars? I'm like, bro, they come every Friday. I said, who's going to clean all these cars? I have so little time as it is. It's like, the little time I have, if I spend it detailing those cars, I wouldn't even be able to drive the cars.
Right. You
Time
wouldn't
would be
want
gone.
to either.
No.
After all the work they put into it, because watching some of the videos online and even doing it myself, it's doing it with my own cars that aren't what your cars are. I'm going, yeah, I don't want to drive it now.
Because if I would do it, it'd have to be perfect.
Right.
And then so it's going to take all this time. It's like, you know what? I just, I want to go make some fun videos. I want to see if it'll hit 200 miles an hour. And, all that good stuff and call it good.
Right.
So you went from some road racing stuff. What led to this beautiful place? Which, by the way, we were talking about it on the way here, and he was saying, like, you come up over that ridge there and you look over and you're just like, this place is gorgeous.
And
I said, I didn't even think about it till he kind of said that. I said, if you were just driving along the interstate, and how you see like rolling hills on the side, and you're just like, man, that would be a bitchin' place to build a track. I was like, that's what this is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it'd be one of those spots, a nice valley.
Yep.
Comes up, goes down, plenty of elevation. So yeah, what led to starting this?
Well, in those early days, I started buying the land here in '95.
Okay.
And so what I did is initially I came out here and bowled up a track. And so all my friends would come out here 2-3 days a week, and we'd come ride all day long. And so then also when I started road racing, when I was in town, everybody wanted to come ride. And there was a 5-mile loop in the woods. I mean, it was just.
I forgot that you had a loop.
It's coming
that
back.
Thing's
It's
fun.
coming back.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So this particular area where the track is, it because of the elevations, it was going to be too hard to propagate and grow trees for the tree business. So I said, we're not going to use it really anyways. Let's just build a motocross track right there. And so, I built the initial track, then I expanded the track myself, and then we irrigated the track. And then we ended up bringing Matt Shue in.
I was about to say, when did this guy get involved?
Matt got involved about probably 6 years ago. And then we brought him back like 2 years later, and he added a whole nother section.
Okay.
So, it got better and better
I was
into.
like, what is he doing?
Is he getting us some good dirt?
You're talking about the track, and it's so gorgeous. I got to, Anthony.
That one. Go up a little more. Up a little more. There you go.
So when I bought this land, we had them push up the top 6 inches of sandy loam off the about 50 acres over there.
Oh.
And so then we could use my dump truck, and we kept just dumping dirt into these corners and kept mixing it until now the consistency is phenomenal. So the track got better and better and better. And, it got to the point where so many people were contacting and wanting to ride it. I said, we'll have to kind of organize it, otherwise people will be showing up while I'm traveling and stuff like that. And, just kind of turned into what it is.
So what year was that Shoe came out?
Shoe was here about 6 years ago. So it would have been like 19, maybe 18 the first time.
God, I was thinking it was longer than that because my kid's 6. And I remember coming out here a handful of times before he was born.
Did it have the high-speed right-hander? That's where the one where
I remember everything just kind of the way it is layout-wise.
Because it used to be this behind us. That used to come out of that berm, and you come through where that gully is now.
Oh,
and
you know what?
And it used to go straight through here. There was no berm there, and you ripped to the downhill and just launched.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
now
what
that
it
you
was
say
before Shoe added this little section in the middle.
Okay.
And it was such a fast downhill that if you didn't throw a good whip on the way down, if you were at speed, you're going to flatland from a 70-foot elevation drop. It wasn't friendly.
Yeah, I did forget about that until, because then I remember coming into this and I'm like, man, you got to put a little bit of oomph to get over that.
That's right.
Now. So
before, there was no oomph.
it was a straight shot to it. Yeah.
To the moon.
Man, one thing that we're going to bring up at some point or another, might as well do it now, is what happened earlier today.
Oof.
That was nuts. Like, so.
That's the stuff you hate to see, in any situation.
Yeah, and what was wild is, so there was somebody down over here, and then I saw the group down over there, and I saw them call you, and you heading down, and I'm just thinking like, okay, normal crash. And then I see the guy get rolled over. And then somebody's like, they're doing CPR. And that's when we looked and saw him got rolled over. Mm-hmm. And then we're like, no, he just rolled over. He's good. And
it's
then we
like
saw.
We're checking. We were thinking from up here, it's like, okay, he's just unconscious. Maybe they're trying to get him back conscious.
And initially, that's what I was trying to do to him. Because when I got down there, with motocross, you expect maybe knocked out briefly.
Yeah.
But you expect them most of the time to be sitting there whining that,
snoring
my
loudly,
ribs or my, my ankle, or, your wrist is deformed, or, it's just something like that. That's kind of normal. And I get down there and they're like saying his name. And I'm like, they're like, Zach. And I'm looking at him he's purple. His
Now,
eyes are rolled back in his head. His hands and arms are purple. And I'm like, I honestly, I didn't know what to think at first. It's not what I was expecting to see rolling up on that. And so I start rubbing his sternum and seeing if I could get him back awake. And he kind of cracked his eyes open a little bit, and then he closed them right back up, and he wasn't breathing. So I jumped on him and I had training 10 years ago, never used it.
yeah.
But I mean, that was the time. And so I jump on him, start doing chest compressions, and then he starts to breathe. So I stop, and then he kind of looks around and he's making some noises, and all of a sudden he goes out again. And then another guy jumps in, he starts doing chest compressions, and then again he starts to kind of come back, gets a pulse, and starts to breathe a little bit, and then they get off him, of course, and then he does it again. Then this girl jumps on him and starts doing it. By that time, EMS and all were getting here,
Yeah.
and but he was still purple.
Yeah, some kid came up that was on a KTM. I forgot what his jersey said on his last name. So him, Brewer, and I were getting the guys off of there.
Mm.
And then we started to walk in, and I said something about we need to clear a path to get the ambulance down to
Right.
him. So then I sent him that way to do that. And then I thought, okay, I need to get to the gate and let them know where we're going. And as I'm up there, another guy on a KTM came in through there, and I said, which gate did they want him to go in? He said, that one.
Right.
I said, I'll stay here and send him down there if needed.
Yep.
He just tore ass down that way.
I had opened the gates because our gates I keep closed, so I
Mhm.
opened them up, and then I got one of my friends. I said, just sit here and wait for him
Blue
to get here.
jacket. I could see
Send
him. Yeah.
him in. And they got here and they hustled down there, and they gave, I think they shocked him once, and then he kind of got starting to get his color back, and then he started getting real combative, which we were happy to see.
Yeah.
Because to that point he wasn't talking, he wasn't moving, no nothing. And they kept working with him, and then honestly, by the time they got ready to transport him, his color was back. He had good skin color. And right as I was getting ready to come up to everybody and kind of give everybody a heads up what's going on, I hear him ask the cop. He says, what happened? Why am I on a backboard? And I was like, oh my. Yeah, I mean, I was so happy to hear that,
Yeah.
because my wife hears the motorcycles get quiet. That's generally because somebody's crashed.
Yeah.
And so she's like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, just give me a minute. She's like, no, you tell me now. And I'm like, somebody's down. It's not good. And then she's like, you need to tell me what, and she's getting fired up. Then she's
Yeah.
like, she's like, said, I'm on my knees. I'm praying for this guy. And, and then of course, as he started making some recovery, and then of course, I guess probably, about an hour ago, his friend that's here talked to him on the phone at the hospital, and he sounds good. So, God, thank God. I mean, when I first got there, I honestly, I didn't think he was going to live.
No.
Right.
And
I mean,
for
the
the
CPR
time.
was going on for
Yeah.
a hot minute.
Oh, 20 minutes.
Right.
20 minutes. And he wasn't responsive.
Right.
So he's not getting oxygen, and then you're wondering that long out, and then you're doing the CPR, did that have an effect?
Yeah.
But, we kind of think that, he probably had a heart attack, judging by the person following him
Yeah.
and the camera and him going limp over the jump and then going all the way through the whole track before he went down. It's definitely not a regular motocross incident.
Yeah. And what's bizarre is that's what I thought as soon as I saw where he was. I was
Mhm.
like, because the only way that you could have a bad crash in my thoughts is like you
The other way.
boner air the big one and you land and you're out of control
right.
until you get over to
there.
there. Like,
Yep.
or you swap really bad up to the next one. But still, I'm like, just nothing was really adding up.
Yeah.
And then I picked his bike up and rode it back. And like I was telling you, I had to hot wire the thing because the starter wires ripped out. So I'm like, okay, no, he did have a crash because the bars were tweaked bad. The brake lever was all the way down. The throttle, I had to put all of it up. And then as I was riding it back and I let off the throttle, it kept going. And I was like, no, that's not because this is a brand new bike.
Yeah. That happened at the end of whatever happened to him.
Yeah. Because
The last
I
time
was
he
like,
did
no,
is it
it's
just
freed up.
pitched him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But jeez, that was crazy. That was probably one of the craziest things I've seen.
I can
like,
tell
the
you,
whole
of all
process.
the years of being out here, that was the worst I've ever seen.
Well, I can cross that off the list down here at the bottom. That was
Right.
going to be the best and worst. That one, cross that one right out there. Jeez, so, yeah, well, Zach, I believe Zach Childers.
I think it's Zach Chilton.
Chilton. Okay. We're thinking about you, man, and we're going to check on you and make sure you're good. Yeah, Ezra knew who his name was, old Pez. And when he said it, I was like, I know that name. It's just one of those, like, probably been Facebook friends for a long
that's
time.
right.
But don't know him. I will say his buddy that I was with, Jaron and I wanted to smack the shit out of him.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, let's help you load up. And he was kind of like, nah, we're going to stay.
Yeah,
I know,
they
right?
stayed and finished out riding today.
No, I was kind of thinking after I come up and, said a prayer with everybody, I was kind of thinking they would leave to go to their friend and everybody else not associated finish the day out riding. And I honestly didn't know until you told me that his bike and the trailer and the people were still there. I was like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they were like, well, his family's meeting him up there. And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, y'all kind of came with him. That's your friend, your buddy,
Right.
If you had a spill today, I definitely wouldn't be sitting there going, we're going to hang out till the end of the day.
Podcast. I mean, we'll catch up with him later. We can take and, AI him into this like he was there.
I walked over to Andy Humphrey right after that, and we said that to him. Him and Mark Waddell are sitting right there, and I said, like, man, the guy's not leaving. And then Andy said something like, well, maybe they just don't like him that much. I was like, no, Andy, that's what we do to you, but not him. Well,
maybe they don't like him so much. That's terrible. I hope none of my people ever say that.
No, I don't think Andy said that. He said something else, and then I said, no, his friends probably like him. We would do that to you or something like that.
Right.
Just shit comes out of my mouth. I barely even remember what I'm going to say or next or any of that shit, so it just spews out. So, Stokes was talking about the F2 that he bought from you. So what do you remember? That was his first bike that got him into
That was my
racing.
first bike, too.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, Cliff Nobles. I don't know if you know Clifford. And his brother, Trip Nobles, was big on on the AMA. He did World Superbike, and actually Trip toted my equipment across the country for one of the seasons for the Formula USA and the AMA stuff. But I was telling Clifford, I said, Clifford, I just need a race bike to see, if I want to do it. So he finds me this painted dark blue F2. It's kind of a bomber, but it was like $3,000, So he says, I'll get you this one, and then if you want to do it, then we can, look for other stuff. So that was my first bike as well. And at the point Brian got that bike, I had basically bought like 3 or 4 more bikes. So I had these nice from Bud Lauder. So I've got all these nice bikes with PM wheels and all dolled up. And Brian had my old F2, but Brian was fast. I mean, he there's no doubt about it. He was running like the production class, and then I was running like 7 different classes a weekend. So I was on 4 different bikes or whatever. But he did good on it. I mean, he did better than I would have thought.
The wheels that you're talking about, are those the ones that almost look like a solid metal mag thing?
Yeah, chrome.
Okay. Yeah, my buddy Chip Lincoln, I don't know if you ever raced against him or anything.
It sounds very familiar.
His name is William Lincoln. He goes by Chip.
He doesn't wear black leathers? I remember Lincoln.
Kind of looks like Uncle Fester looking.
Did he ride Army of Darkness or no?
No, I don't know. But Opie and I all worked together at a shop at the same time. But I'm curious if but either way, he had an F3 with those wheels still that he brought over and parked back there. And this was 2009. I was like, what do you do with that thing? He's like, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to the track day with it one day or another. And I'm like, dude, those are dinosaurs. Like, they don't even make F anything anymore. So they were off the F4 or the F4i and then went to the RRs.
Yep.
And by that time, I mean, that was
mine were all
5 years past.
Mine were all F3s.
Yeah.
On my 600s.
I still want a Smokin' Joe F3.
Those are cool, weren't they?
Yeah.
Those were super cool.
I would love to collect one of those.
Bud's got one.
Oh.
I'm sure he'll sell it to you.
Yeah, probably for a fucking pretty penny.
Probably.
I mean, you used to be able to get those for 35 to 4 back in pre-2010.
Yeah, not no more.
I bet they're probably 7, 8.
7 or 8,000 if it's quality.
Yep.
Maybe you can trade
Bud'll get you for about 10.
Yeah.
Bud ain't selling it cheap.
That's like my 86 CR500 that's maybe has 20 hours on it. And it's like, yeah, you got the right person to that. You get some cheddar.
Yep.
But my wife gave it to me as a wedding gift, so I'm not allowed to sell it till she divorces me. But then I'm going to use that to help pay for the lawyer. So is what I figure. It will be needed. at
Yeah,
that
if it's
point.
many years, you're going to need lots of money for the lawyer.
Yeah.
What do you need the lawyer for? Her prenup that she made you sign?
No, she wasn't smart enough for that. Neither was I. So we're just gonna have to fight it out when the time
Wrap
comes.
it
Whenever
out.
she comes to her senses and she's like, "I can do better," then it's gonna be a problem. So she can. We all know she can. So yeah, that was your first bike. Was there anything kind of that you did with that one that was a little bit of cheater bikes, or was that before
Not
you
that
got
one.
into some of those?
That one was pretty basic. Now, back in the day, I mean, I probably shouldn't say this, but Bud would build some good motors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think a friend of mine, mechanic to the stars, Vic Fasola, he had, you know, Vic?
So
He was a Yosh guy for a long time, but he's renowned for the building the motors.
Mm-hmm.
And his famous quote was, "Almost stock." They'd be like, "Is that thing legal? Or is that thing ain't stock? It's almost stock." You know, so you know anything you got from back there in the day, they had their little tricks they did to them and sped them up a little bit. I mean, you know, there was really no tech for anybody to check them. You know, as long as you had your DOT wheels and you know the right air cleaners and stuff in there, they really didn't mess with you.
So is that one of the second rain race ever story that you sent me? And a bike with that was 104 horsepower.
That was a dry day with AMA.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. We're out there at Daytona, and you know, so we're going out to qualify. And Miguel Duhamel is I tag him behind him, Team Honda, right? You know, he's got a great bike. He's on the factory Honda bike, but
Would he have been on the RC51, or would that have been a different?
he was
class?
on a 600. That was
okay.
the spec class. It was a 106 horse spec class that they had, and so in reality, his bike shouldn't have had any more than 106 horsepower. But we all knew that they got their stuff stamped and it was quote spec. But you know, in Miguel, in his defense, was kind of a smaller guy, and you know he didn't weigh much, and I was 6 foot, and I was back then for racing I was like 168 pounds, and so I go out behind him and I'm following him through. We come out of the horseshoe, and then you have a left-hander, and it puts you up between you know NASCAR 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
and as soon as we hit the banking, he went bye 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 and just drove away. And I mean, I'm chasing him into the chicane, and it's everything I can do not to wad the bike, trying to make up time. We come out of the chicane, he just drives away again, and I'm like, damn, you know. So we go into turn 1, and I'm just, you know, I'm just right on the edge of throwing it away the whole lap to try to get back within 100 yards of him. And so I make up a little ground, I hold my ground, I'm feeling pretty good about it. We get to come out of the horseshoe again, he just drives away again, and I'm like, that doesn't take skill to drive away from me like that. You know, he schooled me in the infield, that's fine.
Yeah.
But there's no, because I know that my bike, it had like 117 horsepower, right? So
In the 106 class.
in the 106 class, they weren't going to check me. I'm a privateer. What are they going to, you know, all they're going to do is make sure it's safety wired, this, that, and the other. They're not going to tear me down. And so he's driving away, and I'm thinking the whole time, how are you, okay, so maybe you got 20 pounds on me weight-wise, but I've got legitimately 11 more horsepower than you, and you're just driving away like I'm on a Honda 50. You know, and that's just pretty much how that went.
Do you think that they were way ahead of VW's thing? So when they knew it was getting tested, it would go into a limp mode?
I don't think they had that. I don't think they had that yet. You know, now they have the switch and all that they can take and reduce it down.
Reduce it a little bit.
My best guess is Honda manufactured parts that were stamped with, you know, just the regular spec, showing that it's, you know, stock parts, but the stock parts were in turn built parts.
Yeah.
That's my guess. But
I've never heard of anybody in the racing world of any sort cheating, so I don't know if any of that's correct.
hey, look,
So-
I claimed it the whole time. I never said I was stock. I mean, come on now. I'm at a disadvantage with all these guys anyways. I'm running a business and flying out to race. So, I mean, they're already up on me. That's all they did full time.
Yeah. Cross that one off the list there. And so, Yeah, when the text came through, it was all in the one. So I guess I got mixed up with some of that bleeding into the other one. So what about the second rain race?
So Race of Champions, 97. That whole year I didn't race.
Would that have been at Road A?
No, it was at Daytona.
Okay.
Road A was
GNF.
GNF.
That's what I'm getting confused.
Yeah, that was a
Yep.
whole nother story.
Yep.
3 seconds to a kid on a 750 that just, I mean, I'd lead him all the way through the lap and he'd wheelie all the way down the back straightaway and leave me. But 3 seconds was all right. But at Daytona, so I go out there and the first day it's just pouring down rain. And I hadn't run in the rain, so I got duct tape in here, trying to, so
Gotta
when it
keep the
fog
water
up and
out,
all
yeah.
that. And so I get on my super sport bike and we throw on rain tires. And I was like, I think I was only like row 2. So I'm up at the front. It was a full grid. There was like 65 bikes. And so they dropped the flag and I hit it and it spins, right? And I about crashed right there. And when I say everybody went by me, everybody went by me. I'm in dead last. So I'm going up the inside trying to make up ground, right? Well, everybody comes wide into turn 1 and then they all come across right on me and just put me on the ground. So I'm laying on the ground. I get up and get my bike. Everybody's gone. I'm pissed. So I get on the bike, care less about the rain. I'm just wide open. And I'm just scalping people left and right. And I had like 2.5 laps to go. And next thing I'm in 4th place. And the 3 in front of me are like 100 yards away. And I'm closing on them like 10 seconds a lap. It was insane. So I'm going through and they're just going on the banking and I'm going into the last left-hander before the banking. I start to see this rainbow color across the track.
Ooh.
Right? And so I get so concerned about the oil on the track, trying to tell the flaggers that I didn't make the turn. I look up, cross up, slide right into the tire wall and crash.
Oh, jeez.
Right? I had him. And then that same lap, the kid that was blowing oil crashed in the chicane, bike blew up, and they red flagged it, so I still got 4th. So that wasn't bad, all right? So 3 or 4 races later, I was up again in 600 Superbike, threw the rain tires on there, and went and got the national championship.
Nice.
There was no fear. It was knee dragging. I mean, it was good stuff.
Funny, Stokes' first time, it was either first time racing or a first time rain race, also got bitched at by Opie for going too crazy as an office.
Yeah, I
And I
believe it.
remember that as soon as you started talking about the rain races.
Yep.
So you guys had that in common. He recently came by here. I saw you guys had some pictures and that stuff, and I talked to him afterwards because he's got to pick up his mountain bike for me. I fixed it for him. So yeah, he said that you guys hadn't seen each other in
25 years.
Yeah. So he came here, went hunting. I think him and his son.
Yeah,
Logan was supposed to be here today. I didn't see him.
but he didn't have anybody to be here with him. And so Mama said he can come buy the trees he needs for his landscape company, but he can't ride. So he was here at like 8 o'clock, and I had my guys load him up a trailer load full of trees. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, I put this post out there because over the years, I've got over 100,000 trees out here under production. And the bucks every year destroy about $10,000 worth of trees because they rub on them, and then I can't sell them and use on the jobs. So I tell people, hey, I got this deer problem. You can come shoot them. You know how many people have ever come? None. Oh, I'm going to take care of that problem. I'm going to this. I said, I got a permit. You can shoot them at night. You can shine them. You can night scope. Whatever you want, just come get them. Nobody ever came. This guy, Chip, he starts coming, baiting the areas up, right? He gets this thing that's like 154 inches. I guess that's good. And they put him in all kinds of buck magazines, right? So I take a picture and put it on my social media like, this is to all y'all that promised you'd come and never came, right? So next thing you know, everybody and their brother wants to come hunt. And so Brian chimes in. We like each other's stuff on occasion, but never talked. And he chimes in, he goes, well, I never got an invite. And so I'm like, give me a call. So we start talking. And I said, yeah, bro, I'll let you come down. You can come and hunt. He ends up coming down, and his son came the next day. So he comes over, and then we go hang out. We just start having, honestly, really good conversation. And now we pretty much talk every day now.
Awesome.
Which is cool. And son ended up coming down. They didn't get any deer, but we had some really good food, and we had some fun and stuff like that. So it turned out to be really cool. Really, I mean, because back in the day, we had respect for each other, but we were on separate teams,
Yeah.
and you know, we wanted to beat each other and all that stuff. So we weren't really chummy. But now it's a whole different animal. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's cool to see like a lot of the old racers coming around, like Stewart, RC, and Reedy. Like nobody in the world would ever thought that would change, right? So yeah, it's the same way. And I mean, even if you don't dislike the person, like you said, you're not just gonna be you, buddy.
Nah,
But
because in reality, is when we were together, I was there to beat him.
yeah,
You know, and I mean, if he opened it up, I'd have pushed him off the track, and if he gave me an opening, I came up, he'd push me off the track. You know, so I mean, we both knew that.
yeah,
But now it's super cool because it turns out that our lives over those 25 years have a lot of parallels that we'd have never guessed. But we're the same type of determined, never quit kind of people.
yeah.
So we sit there and tell stories and reminisce of things in our own lives that have happened, and it's like, dang, we really have walked a lot of the same path, even not knowing that anything about each other.
Right. I mean,
So.
it's funny you say that because Dad brought that up the other day that there's some guy, I can't remember his name. He was racing back in the 70s and 80s and they hated each other. Absolutely hated each other. But then they started talking after their racing era, and now they're, they chit chat all
Good
the
friends,
time and
yep.
they're good friends and everything. And Dad goes, I think it was, I hated him because we were a lot alike.
Yeah. And wanted to win.
Right, exactly.
I mean, how are you really going to be buddies with somebody you plan on beating every chance you get?
Right.
Oh well, he and I were buddies a lot. We were racing together at Bremen back in the day, and
Yeah, well, we're not going for national championship.
No,
We're trying to win practice.
Bremen,
It was pretty-
Thursday
yeah,
night
win
practice,
in practice.
and Saturday, okay. Saturday's, what was it, Moto Madness? All right, those were legit, all right? But, yeah, but, and I call bullshit on your father hating anybody. Strongly disliking
he said
at
that-
most.
I wish I could remember the guy's name, and he'll if he's watching, he'll probably text me here in a little bit. But he'd be like, "Yeah, no, that was
Well, it's not
so-and-so."
live.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
But
I don't have internet.
yeah, it's one of those. They butted heads. It was Dad had some buddies at some races that would block for him basically. Kinda be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Nice.
Casey
I never had any
Carlisle.
friends like that. I was always the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
I had to push them out of the way.
So what's some of the other stuff that I've got written down here? 97 Race of Champions at Daytona, or did you already touch on that one?
Touched on that one, super bike in the drive. I walked away with that one.
Yep, the pouring down
Yeah,
rain, heavy
the
race,
pouring down
dry
rain, that
race,
was pretty cool.
Not too national. Yeah. Okay, so we did get that one. That just got brought up with the other ones there. And all right, so what was your favorite race bike over the years then?
It was probably the GSXR 750.
Which year?
It was a 90. I guess it would have been a 2001. Was my
Okay.
favorite. I had gotten one of Mark Miller's Attack Yamaha R1s, and that's what I ran in Formula Extreme. That's back when AMA's Formula Extreme were big bikes and not the 600s like they are now. But that one was fun too because it was so big and had so much horsepower. And I was only 168, 170 pounds. I wasn't that heavy,
No.
but I was 6 foot, which was a little bit taller than a lot of the people that racing. So the Yamaha had just the little foam seat,
Oh yeah.
and it was like to me it was like riding a couch.
Yeah.
It was so big, and I could get under it, and it had so much. It was just you could.
Yeah, because even the rear fairings on those were very bubbly.
oh, yeah,
Like,
it was
looked like
great.
it was designed in a freaking wind tunnel.
It was, and you could take that thing, and that's before all the electronics and all. Man, you could come off the corner and just use the rear end to steer it. I mean, it was great. I loved that. That's probably, I'd say the R1 was my favorite bike.
So 01, that would have been fuel injected by then, right? I think fuel injected started in 98 with a lot of the bikes. Maybe even
I
want to
say the R1 might have still been carburetors.
in 98.
I think so.
That's possible, honestly.
The Suzuki was fuel injected,
Yeah,
but I think that R1, I believe, was carbs.
you could be correct on that. It might have not been until 02. I'm thinking when
Yeah.
they finally went to fuel injected on that.
The whole bike was all carbon, and I mean it was a hot rod. Attack built it, and so it was fun.
Yeah, my cousin's now widow. He passed away in a motorcycle accident a few years back. But she still has her *01 GSXR 750, and that thing's
Nice.
like mint condition. Besides, it's gone down once or twice, but they've went back with OEM stuff.
Right.
So, but yeah, she still got that thing. So I know exactly the bike, the white, the blue, and the dark, baby blue, the dark
Yep.
blue. Yeah,
That was a good
I
bike.
can picture that thing very vividly. So what would you say is the biggest difference between road racers and motocross riders?
I think I think the fast motocrossers are little more of a screw loose. You know, in road racing, even at your high speeds, it's like you have two different people at road racing. You have ones that crash well and ones that don't crash well. I crashed well, so when I would go off the bike, I was more like I was drunk, and so I could relax and go with the crash until it was done, and then get up and I wasn't trying to jump up at 50 miles an hour and
Yeah.
to get slammed back down. So with the road racing, at least for me, until I broke my neck, all the crashes were very minimal on me. I destroyed a lot of bikes, but with the moto, to go up to the higher level, I mean, it's win.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily feel like that with road racing or with flat track. Flat track was fun. That was, to me, pretty, I thought it was pretty safe. But the motocross, I was pretty good at motocross, but, at the high level, no. But knowing where I was, what it would take to stick my neck out to go to that next level, I think that they're just a little more daring.
No, that's good. So we already touched on worst injury and thing you've dealt with here. What was like one of the best moments?
I mean, one of the best, honestly, was it'll seem petty, but it was a top 12 finish at Road Atlanta in AMA Formula Extreme, and there was, I don't know, 38, 40 riders in our class, and Curtis Roberts was on the Arian race bike, and he was smoking everybody, but he lapped everybody up to my position, and he was still almost a half a lap behind me. I felt pretty good about that, because he's on this flame-throwing motorcycle, and everybody else behind me, which there was a lot of fast guys, and he just decimated them all. And when he crossed the finish line, I was still all the way back, just turning out of turn 7 onto the back straightaway. So he was never going to catch me. So that was pretty good. And then, of course, the Race of Champions, winning in the wet, and then the next day winning in the dry. That was pretty cool.
So I asked the question incorrectly. I should have worded it better. I meant the track here.
Oh, this track?
What's the best moment that you had here? Because we went through the worst moment that we had here earlier.
The worst moment I had here was when I broke my neck and was paralyzed here back in 2015. But honestly, I think the best thing here, just to be real, is all the people and the joy that you get out of these people, out of my moto family, that you see from the little kids to the older guys.
Yeah.
That they just love being here, and of course, I don't ride anymore, but the thing is that I'm connected still.
Yeah.
And so, seeing how happy people are and how grateful they are, and they pick up their trash, you don't have to tell them not to bring alcohol, and it's just a great, that's why I do this.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's honestly something I was going to touch on, and you worded it beautifully with that, because I feel like at one point, if somebody might try to pull some bullshit, like, those aren't his real friends. And I've honestly thought, like, if somebody was to come up to you and try to pull some bullshit like that, and you'd be like, all right, go around and name all these people. Probably could.
Yeah.
Probably know them all by first name.
Yep.
You know?
And the same thing it's no different than the gym.
Yeah.
We got this gym fam of 7,000 members. We got the moto fam that comes out here, and they're generally good people, and you can count on positivity.
Yeah.
When you look at the rest of the world being honestly a big shithole, you take these two little facets of life, and it's like it kind of restores your faith in humanity, so to speak.
Yeah. No, I definitely think people should turn off the TVs more and just go talk to people a lot more.
Even if you don't have to agree.
Yeah.
But just have conversation.
No, but just like in the community aspect of it, when we witnessed earlier, everybody was like, all right, what can we do? Some people were like, I just need to stay away because that's the best thing to do. And other people went into action with, all right, let's get this, what needs to happen to get for the situation, you know? So, or even anything. I mean, parts, you need help.
Oh, yeah.
Damn David Brewer, I forgot his moto socks today and a brand new set for him.
He stole yours.
So I let him borrow mine, you know, like I should charge him for that.
Right.
I can't. He just did my suspension he set it up for me last time.
You
I
paid him
rode,
to use your
so-
socks.
Yeah, that's true. I'll have to remind him of that.
Right.
So one of the craziest things I've ever seen out here, and I really wish I could find it. I'm still going to try to find it, and I'll put it to this, is I believe it was Jack Chambers trying to quad.
No, that was
Or was that somebody else?
Jackson Gray,
Jackson Gray. That's
He was
probably
here
why I
today.
couldn't find the thing.
420.
Oh, that was that dude. He was ripping.
He's always
man.
ripping.
Yeah.
Jackson's a nut. He's
Dang.
good. He rips.
Do you know the jump I'm talking about?
No.
So as you come down
After the big,
big
berm,
berm.
it's the double.
Yeah, he tried to.
He
quad
rode it. He tried to quad it on a 250.
God dang.
And dude, when he
It did not
landed,
work.
his bike blew apart. It tacoed the rims, blew out the tires. I mean, he had a big gash on his nose. He's sitting there. He's just kind of sitting there, bleeding. He's got his helmet off. And I'm like, dude, you're all right? And he's like, yeah, you know. And his dad's like, I told you not to do that, you know. And so I'll never forget. He's looking around, you know, and he's kind of looking back. And he's beat up. And he looks over and he goes, could have done it if I had the 450. And I'm like, oh my God, you can't be serious right now. And his dad's like, don't you even think about it, you know? I could have done it if I had the 450. I'm like,
That'd
he
been
cased-
better if somebody if he stood up and was like, anybody got a 450 I can borrow?
He cased the fourth jump. He got that far across. it.
Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah, he got all the way to case it because he kind of went around the berm and then came in and ran at it. It was insane.
Well, I mean, watching him go into the corner, the entry speed into that corner down there is like,
Oh, he
man,
rips.
Dude, he was on rails.
Is he or a few guys that are here like working with Triumph?
I don't think he is, but Jack is.
Okay. I was going to say, I feel like there's a few people that I've seen here before that I'm
Mhm.
like, that looks like a little official Triumph stuff. Because,
Yeah,
hell,
yeah.
it's what, 20 minutes away? Maybe?
Yeah, Culloden.
Yeah. It's not far from
Yeah,
here
Jack.
at all.
That's normally where Jack, you know, he practices and works with their factory team.
Mm.
And they
And that's
gave him the
Jack.
bikes. Beeland.
Beeland. Okay.
Mhm.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, I know. But didn't you do some stuff with Jack Chambers helping him out for Supercross, or was that somebody else that I'm thinking
And it
of?
was somebody else.
Okay. Yeah, there was some kid, and maybe it wasn't even Supercross. I remember him on a KTM coming up, and had CKB on his bike.
That Jack Beeland's got CKB on his bike. I've sponsored him since he was 8 years old.
That's got to be it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Beeland.
Yeah. I don't know why I was getting the Jack Chambers thing.
He's a little
mixed
hot
up.
rod.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask that earlier. Do you have a team or is it just a select few guys?
No, it's, you know, if I'll take an interest in
I
some of these guys, and if they're, I mean, honestly, if they're kind of walking the walk, you know, and there's somebody that I feel good about putting my brand on,
Hmm.
you know, because they're not just then
More of a good
representing.
human.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. And you know, I mean, it's nothing personal to anybody, but I mean, if they're out getting hammered every weekend, I don't want my name on their bike.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just, I just don't. You know, I'm not. That to each their own. Not my business. But if you want my name on the bike and all, then you know, I got a certain persona, so to speak, that I like to keep it, you know, clean and looking good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna skip around to a few things then, because since you're talking about that. What I've seen some posts about a lot of anti-drinking things, and some of them crack me up so hard because and you might not want to give out the secret of how you find these things out, but I'll see a post about, well, my guys know that drinking is not a part of my company and not part of my life, and they decided to get a 30-pack or a case and have some while they were out of town
Fired 'em
delivering
all.
some stuff, and fired them all. So I need a driver. And I was like, how the hell did he know that? They're in a different state.
Well, you know, but you know, again, it goes back to having good people.
Yeah.
You know, and my goal and everything is to take care of the people that are around me.
Mm.
If you're going to be around me, that means you're going to be a quality person. And so anybody in our company that gets hired, part of what they read and they sign is that, from Monday when we leave till Friday night when they get back, they're not allowed to drink, period. And then
Especially
if we,
with CDL stuff, like
well, not even just workers.
The limit
Doesn't mean not even that. I mean, after work they can't have a beer. If they stay through a weekend, they can't have a beer over the weekend. And honestly, it's generally my Americans that are like, I'm 25 years old. If I want to drink a beer after work, I will. And I'm like, that's cool. I can't tell you can't drink. I can only tell you when you're representing CKB Landscape, you can't drink.
Yeah.
And you signed that, so then about every 3 years, I'll get a text message and they'll say, you should show up or have the foreman check this apartment, after 10 at night. And that's all they'll say. It'll be a number that there's no name attached.
Nah.
Right? Because they know if they go along with it and this person gets caught and it's just someone in their room, they're getting fired too.
Yeah.
So they don't want no part of that.
Right.
So then we either I drive to where they are and just surprise them and show up, or I'll have the, my leader go in there and they catch them. And the deal is, you can be in Nashville, Tennessee. You get caught drinking, they're going to put you out of the apartment, take your clothes, find your own way home.
Oh, yeah.
You're not riding home with us.
It's like they signed the agreement, right? So,
what are you going to say? I go over the agreement 3 times just to be monotonous.
Right.
So it's not like they don't know. But the flip side is you've got 130 employees. If you only catch one every 3 years, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned about not having drinks out here. There was, I think, the first time Brandon and I ever came, we had like a beer right afterwards. And then we saw a Facebook post the next day saying, like, and remember, thanks everybody for coming out. Remember, no alcohol. And we went, that's probably us. Hopefully he doesn't know.
He's calling us out.
I was like,
and again, the problem with that is that if you allow it, the next thing you know, after the first or second session, someone's going to have a beer or two. And then is that going to impair their reflexes?
Yeah.
Then they're going to crash. And they're going to ruin it for everybody.
Right.
So, it's like, wait, let's say if you got a 12-pack of beer in your truck, just wait till you leave.
Yeah.
It's, that's not my bitch. Just wait till you leave. If you can't wait till you leave, then your problem's bigger than my rule.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother thing someone else got to, deal with.
Yeah, and so as where our thought was like, all right, it's going to take us about an hour to finish loading, so we'll just have one now, and that way when time we go, we're good. And then we just learned, I just don't bring them. We're good.
Well, but, the thing with that is this. You have someone such as yourself that's going to wait till you're completely done. You're putting your bikes away and you're enjoying a cold beer, which isn't going to impair your driving or nothing else. But the problem is, it's like anything else. You'll have this truck that'll say, oh, well, they're drinking beer.
Yeah.
And they'll start drinking all through the day. And the next time they come, they're going to be drinking beer the whole time. Right. Because they can't, if you could just say, everybody, you're welcome to have beer in your coolers. And when you break down, if you have a cold beer, no big deal. You wish you could do that in life, but you just can't.
Yep.
Because you got people that just won't follow rules.
Yeah.
Give a mouse a cookie.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that was just one of those things, too, where I was like, I hope, because I feel like you knew that I knew Shu. I was like, hope he doesn't text Shu. And then he's like, hey, your buddies can't come back. But we learned with that because we just didn't know. So,
and look,
either way,
and how much you miss it? You don't.
Oh, hell,
there's a little store up on the corner. You can get a cold beer on you when to leave.
Jaron and I recently, so I just turned 40, and he's trying to get my ass into shape for Loretta's. And that was an agreement that he had with his wife to finally let him ride is he's still working on the cigarettes, but the no drinking, that flexibility, I don't know. There may be some other things. Exercise.
That's good
there
stuff,
we go.
though.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like you're saying, it's you go and have one, and then not even at the track, just I go and have one, and then I want another beer,
That's
and
right.
then I want another one. It's like I again, like you say, my problem might have been bigger than not your
That's right.
role here, but it was at home where I was drinking them, and it's like, okay, too much, got to stop.
But because of him doing that too, I said, all right, and you're training me, I'm gonna do it too. So we went.
That's good.
For I think you were Thanksgiving to pretty much Christmas or your birthday. I know you had a few on your birthday, and I went for 4 weeks, and then for Christmas, my cousins came and we did a show, so we had a few drinks and stuff like that too. But it's like when we go back to it after being off it so long too, you're like, oh, this sucks.
It's not quite as much fun, is it?
Yeah, because you used to, if you have a 2, 3, 4 a night, whatever, you get in that habit.
You get a tolerance.
Yeah, and then you cut it, and then you're like, but I'm glad because it brought back the, all right, this sucks. I'm good.
That is good. No, I agree. That's a good thing.
This show is brought to you by MX201 Track Designs, founded by Matt Shue, a former pro supercross and motocross racer who made a name for himself in the 90s and early 2000s.
Harry Shue, the local favorite from LJ, Georgia, is in third. He goes down in the corner. He's no longer in third place.
MX201 Track Designs brings decades of hands-on expertise to the motocross world. Matt's racing career took him across the globe, competing at the highest level and learning firsthand what makes a track not only fun, but challenging and safe. Since stepping away from racing, Matt has used his extensive knowledge to help design, build, and manage a variety of tracks in the Southeast. Locations like Amp MX, Highland Park Resort, and Synergy Cycle Park trust MX201 as he's earned a reputation for creating top-notch riding experiences. Whether you're dreaming of a custom public track, a private motocross facility, or even a backyard woods loop for the kiddos, MX201 Track Designs offers solutions that are as unique as your vision. And he'll offer custom solutions that are tailored to your budget. Visit mx201trackdesign.com or call 678-628-4892 to get started on designing your perfect track today. And when you do, be sure to mention Campfire Moto Stories to Matt. So what kind of led you down that path with where you were just like, that's it, it's out of the life? I feel like there's a story there.
Well, I mean, I think for me is that, man, I'm very open that I'm a believer. And for me, I've had the opportunity to go across the United States and speak, motivational speak, and I go to some really big rehabs, okay? And because of certain things in my life story, they can relate to me, and they understand that I'm real and that I know what I'm talking about because of past history. And so for me, it became I don't want to be a stumbling block to somebody else. So let's say that I'm talking to somebody that's got an alcohol problem, and they're starting to see the light of being able to break away from that, but then they go out to somewhere to eat, and here I am sucking them down. I don't want to be the person that causes them to go back into what they're trying to get away from. And so for me, I'll be honest with you, I can be just as big of an idiot straight. I'm just being real. I can be a clown. I can be an idiot.
Same.
Just as much with not a drop of alcohol. Yeah. So I'm thinking, you always got a designated driver with me. I don't beat people down. If we go out and they have a couple of drinks, cool, I'm driving. So it's not about judgment. It's about me personally. I want to encourage people that might be under a struggle.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
That's good. So, all right, get back to some of the other things on there, and Below Deck. Do you know about this?
Oh, yeah. I went and watched it. I watched y'all's episode on there.
That was pretty good, though, right?
Yeah, well, even the captain came on and was like, these are some of the nicest people I think we've ever had.
That was the takeaway, which, when the promos leading up to this, they're like, oh my God, they're going to kill us. They're doing these little commercials about the next episode, and the chef's like, all they're going to want is protein. It's just this big thing that we're these bodybuilding, crazy people. And we didn't get to see it until everybody else saw it. So we filmed it, and a year later they show it. So we had no idea, most of the people on there honestly are jerks. The whoever like in our position. Yeah. They're normally drunken jerks.
That charters the boat kind of thing.
Yeah, the pay to charter, yeah. So, then we see it, and we don't see any of the behind the scenes, what's going on. But like 5 minutes into the first episode, you got Haley and you got Frazier up on the deck, and Haley's like, are we even on a charter? Because we're hanging out with everybody. We made friends. We're still friends with all of them on social media and all.
That's cool.
And Frazier's like, the guys, they're so lovely. And it was just kind of the, we had Dexter Jackson, Mr. Olympia. We brought him and his wife, and then buddy of mine and his wife that own a big gym down in Florida. And then,
what's up, dog?
You getting in here? And then So we had a very fit crew, and we had the token jerk guy, that was my wife's friend's husband from Colorado. I mean, just you had to have one, I guess. But it was cool because they didn't try to. I didn't know how they could, but I mean, nothing is scripted.
Okay.
I mean,
I had questions
nothing.
about that. Yeah,
They basically, when we watched it, we're like the night before we came on the deck. It was like they're in a drunken melee. They're having cake fights in the galley, and we knew none of that. The guy couldn't find his pants until 30 seconds before we get on board. And he's running up there and then stands up, and we come up the deck, and they're all standing there professional. We had no idea the mayhem that was going on. So, we didn't know, are they going to try to spin this? Like my wife, she was like, we're walking through, and we were the primary, so we had this massive suite on the front of the boat, and my wife's like, I feel like I'm on the Cartrashians, the Fort Valley Cartrashians, and then she's on the back of the boat. She's like, and of course they catch all this, and she's like, if my wig flies off, somebody better go get it. She's cutting up, but that's what the camera grabs. Then they're pushing this out on the commercials before we ever air, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I'd never seen any of the episodes, didn't know anything about it other than you guys being on there. And I remember going to Thanksgiving years back and finding out that my brother-in-law was watching it. And I was like, yeah, I know a guy on there. And he's like, what? and I think I talked about it then, but I forgot all of it. So yesterday I was at a thing for my kid, and I was finding the episode and kind of skimming through it. I saw him talking to the dude, the bodybuilder dude, Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, Dexter Jackson.
Dexter. And I wasn't able to fully put my attention to it, but so I talked to my wife, and I was like, what is this show even about? And then I was like, oh, yeah, there's Keith, there's his wife. And she's like, oh, were they assholes? I was like, that was like the first question.
That's what everybody assumed.
Because I guess that's kind of like the premise of the show. Or
were they drunken? Were they bossing them around, making them do stupid stuff?
I don't know. I just found it on my phone, and I'm just going through it. So it's funny to hear you say that with it, but that's what it's known for, I guess, is being assholes.
So we kind of broke, at the end of it, they were talking like the crew and stuff, and they're like, we needed a good last charter of the season with good people.
Yeah.
They're like, we had so many assholes the whole season, and, we needed good people. And then so like after it was done, we chimed into like a below deck chat room. And of course, as soon as we entered the chat room, everybody realized that it was us. And I mean, it's super positive what everybody had to say, which was cool because, you never know if the TV is going to try to spin it and make you look bad. And I'm thinking, but we're not those people. So how could they spin it? Because we're just not those people.
Yeah. And you never know. Somebody could say something off camera that
take it out of context or
exactly.
something.
So yeah, I was curious about that. So there's no producers or someone asking you to say things or do things. That was all.
They mic you up, and literally from when you first get out of bed, they put a mic on you until you're in bed for the night.
Yeah.
And they said you just act normal, have the conversations you'd ever. Don't pay any attention to there's 4 cameramen. And then cameras all over the place.
Yeah.
And they had a production room in the middle of that yacht, but we didn't see
it.
That.
Yeah.
But they just said, whatever you normally do, just that's what you do.
So how did that come to be?
We were actually sitting there. We were actually watching it, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and Jolynn, she looks up and says, I wonder how you get on there. So she Googles it or whatever, and there's like a website. So she goes to the website and she clicks on it, and then they answer back, and it's like, well, tell us about you, give us your social media stuff, and and then if we're interested, we'll contact you.
Mm.
So she fills it all out, and literally like midnight our time, they were out in California, so it was like 9 o'clock. We get a phone call same night, and they're like, we're interested in talking to you all about maybe the season finale for St. Lucia. We're like, all right, cool. So they said tomorrow we'll do a Zoom. And the lady's like, we definitely want to pursue it further. Do you know of 6 friends that you would bring? Yeah. She's like, Thursday we do a Zoom with everybody. So they're basically recording all of our interactions, and everybody's a bunch of knuckleheads. So we're just cutting up, acting like fools. And the lady leaves. She's like, I'll be right back. But I know what she was doing is she was letting it record to see what we had to say when she wasn't there.
Yeah.
So we're ragging each other. Yeah, I mean, just ragging each other. And she comes back, and so she asks pointed questions, and And so finally she says, well, they normally take, casting normally takes like 3 weeks to decide. And we're like, all right, cool, And she's like, but they're going to call y'all in the next 2 days. She says they're going to want you.
Mm.
She's like, cool. So 2 days later, they called and booked us, and that was that.
Now, there was one guy on the cruise, one of the employees was really fascinated with you and Mr. Olympia because he is like, oh, these guys are my type of guys.
That
He
was the
into
foreign
exercising.
kid.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, no, he was all excited.
Yeah.
He had these little, I don't know, some kind of calisthenics that he was able to do. None of us could do it. he's like, he's showing off and showing them. We're like, yeah, we're not trying that. we're gonna pull a hip muscle or something. We're not doing that. But I mean, they were all, the girls all really swarmed around Jolynn. They're all fascinated by her tattoos and her muscles and her beauty.
Right.
And so then all the other guys were, around us, and it was a really fun experience.
Oh yeah. Now, did y'all still feel like y'all got to enjoy the vacation aspect of it?
Oh, no, it was great. We were on jet skis ripping, and they made all the foods we wanted. And, you say ahead of time what meals you want and stuff like that. And, and they took you over the Grand Tetons, and you're sitting over there. I mean, you're docked in this beautiful, spot. And it was cool.
Yeah, and with that, since it's like a show, they're obviously making decent money off of that. Is it a hefty charter fee, or is it not too bad?
If you were to take and charter that boat, it would be about $120,000.
Yeah, I figured it'd be something like that
for the 3 full days. And so, basically, for us, and we ended up paying for the guests we took. So we spent $30,000 on the base fees, and then we ended up tipping them $30,000.
Yeah.
So we paid $60,000, so we got it for half price.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're catered. It was $60,000. A lot of people are like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was $60,000 of memories you can't pay for.
Yeah. Right. So I saw you mention something recently about starting a podcast. You have a podcast room or you moved something out of your podcast room?
Well, is upstairs, and it was game room, pool table, one of my drum kits, and then a foosball table. And so we've cleaned the whole thing out, sold the foosball and the pool tables, and carpet's out right now. They're getting ready to do the walls and do the panels, and we're about to order, what we need for the podcast setup. And we just think that, basically, there's so many things for us in our lives that we've gone through and been a part of that we think that probably a lot of people would want to hear about.
Okay.
And so, everything from racing to business success, to both of us losing a child, to, just every facet of what you could ever imagine. If we were to write a book, most people say it's got to be fiction.
Yeah.
Because that much stuff doesn't happen to 2 people, and they're still here. So when we travel, we generally get engaged so much by just random people cornering us. And then when they leave, some of the things that they say lead us to believe that there's more of a purpose that we need to fulfill.
Yeah.
And so we think probably one of the good ways to do it is just like what you do, is to get the word out and see where it can kind of, I guess for us, it's more of that there really is a little light at the end of that tunnel, no matter where you are and what's happened to you. And there's a lot of people who need to hear that is the truth.
Yeah.
A lot of people are hopeless, and some of the things that we've gone through, we truly feel like will help people understand they're not alone and that they can make it out.
Mm.
So that's kind of be the preface of it, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm still learning this stuff as I go and figuring things out. So if you got any questions or things
I'm
like
going to
that,
engage you.
hit me up. Let me know. I'll help you with
am.
equipment and what doesn't work, or hey, don't go that route, go this route, or
Well, I
whichever.
already got a list that I've been given that they're saying this is the what you need to get started. I'm going to be texting that to you. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not that smart. If I can figure it out, most anybody can figure it out. So,
well, we may have to have you come help us. So, we've got all the life issues that have happened.
mm-hmm.
And I think that if we get a little help getting it started and getting it out there, I think again, it's not really for us.
Yeah.
We really feel like, everything from, health and fitness to, losing loved ones to, paralysis. I mean, just all these different things, drug addiction, opiate addiction. You go through all these different facets of life. You touch so many different, groups of people
Yeah.
that, we have people just sit down and just they sit there and just listen, and then when we leave, they're just like, we don't know how to describe it, but being around you guys, there's a calming, peaceful feeling that comes over us.
Yeah.
And if I had $10 for every time we've heard that out of random people all over the world, everything out here would be paid off.
So you got a name figured out yet, KJ?
No, they haven't figured it out yet. We're looking at that.
You said your dad's not known as Curly anymore. So
No.
what would he be known as? Is he bald?
No, he's not bald. He's still got hair. 84 years old. Gives me hope that I'm good for a while with the mohawk.
Maybe if he's got a nickname, you can figure out the nickname initial now, and then
With
KJ.
Jolene. Yeah.
So. Oh shit! I turned yours off because you were taking off the headsets and all that. There you go.
Oh, I said SKJ just for now that his hair's straight. So straight
Right.
Keith Jolene. Jolene, sorry.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get that figured out. I mean, maybe we'll throw a poll out there on social media and see
There
what
you
they
go.
think. We tend to get a lot of participation when we do stuff like that. So I remember one time I did this poll, and because we'll be out and I'll start filming and I will just harass the crap out of Jolene. I mean, just annoy her beyond annoyed. She gets so mad. And of course, I'm filming the whole time, right? And so she just gets so mad. And then I'm like, this is gold, and I post it up and everybody's cracking up. I'm like, this is so good. Nobody wants to see that. There ain't nobody impressed by that. And I'm like, really? All right, let me throw a poll out there. So I throw a poll out there. Who wants to see me harass Jolene some more? Dude, it's like, if I get 500 responses, there's only one no. It's her. So I'm like, you see the results. They like it. So, that's good stuff too.
Oh yeah.
Because
I remember those videos too. You going around just aggravating,
Just
little
aggravate her.
nitpicky stuff.
just aggravate her. It's
Isn't
fun.
that what we're all supposed to do to our wives? I thought that was like part of the
It
marriage
is.
license that we signed.
It is.
Absolutely.
More people should do it, but I go ahead and I do it.
I remember my mother-in-law saying something about Megan should have married a nice man or something along those lines. And I said, here's the problem. Your daughter wouldn't. She needs a little chaos, okay? So, yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't be here if I was a nice guy.
Look, none of the women really want a nice guy. Let's just be real. It looks good on paper.
Right.
But then they'd walk all over them.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be happy. Then they'd end up straying because of the nice guy. So, I don't think they really want that.
All right, now here's the part where I'm going to take a nap and you guys got to go to town. This is Jaren's been waiting for.
So I think first question I got is, how many hot rods and cool cars do you have? Because I know of a few, but I think there's more.
So he's like, I don't care nothing about
I don't know shit about cars. A little bit.
Well, that's when y'all were sitting over here talking about the street bikes and stuff. I'm sitting over here going, yeah.
what you heard was, wah, 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 wah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely got an interest in it, but it's not dirt or moto, so it's a little different.
Right. Well, I will say that recently, to get the GT3 RS, we had just bought the Lambo.
Okay.
And I was looking for the Ruby Star GT3 RS, and there was none in the country. So I was like, all right, we get the Lambo. I told Jolene, it'll be me and yours, right? We'll share it. The one car we'll have out of all the cars that we share. I'm not sure how that would have worked out, but that was the plan, right? So then like a month into it, I get a call from my guy that looks for cars. And he's like, bro, GT3 RS coming in the country, Ruby Star. He said, allocated to me. I'm like, oh my God. The timing's not good. We just bought a Lambo, right? And it's like, and I'm thinking, but I might not get a chance to get another Ruby Star, you know, 24 brand 11 miles.
Oh, man.
And so I tell Jolene, I'm like, look, he found the Ruby Star. She's like, yeah, and I'm like, I think instead of taking money out or getting a loan, I said, I think I need to sell a couple of the cars I'm not attached to.
Right.
I said, I think that's what I'm feeling I need to do. So she's like, all right. And so I had that Mercedes GTR convertible.
That was the green one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Fun
pretty.
car, 200-mile-an-hour car. I had it 200 probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 times
That just
off of exit near here.
4 wheels seems sketchy going that fast.
No, it's good.
Okay.
No, it's good. And so that one there, I owned it outright. So I got a nice lump for that one quick. Guy in California bought it that in the wildfires they had last year.
Uh-huh.
He had that exact car, same color, burned up in his house.
Oh.
And he was dead set he was getting another one. So perfect home for it.
Right.
Sell that, get good money. So then I had one of the older Vipers, not attached to it, got a good deal on it, sold it, did good on that. So then I had the 73 Camaro split bumper, and that was a retro mod.
Right.
Beautiful car. I got at auction, and whoever built it had like at least $100,000 in the build. I got it for $37,000.
Oh,
right on a Wednesday at Meekum. I wasn't even gonna buy it, and then I bid on it, and I figured I didn't get it, and then all of a sudden the guy goes sold, right? And Jolene looks at me and she goes, "Did you just buy a car?" And I'm like, "I think I did," right? And yeah, we did. So I sell that, make like $50,000 on it. And so then I'm like, you know what? I only need like 65, 70 grand. I can just buy the GTR or the Porsche. And so she's like, she had this brand new, I bought it brand new for her, back years ago, 2017 Grand Sport Corvette, convertible, wide body, triple black.
Yep.
Manual 7-speed. Right.
Yeah.
So last of the manuals in the Corvette. And so she said, "You just bought the Lambo. It'll be mine. Porsche will be yours." I'm like, sweet. I don't got to share it. Right. So
Right.
I don't have to worry. She don't have to worry about me taking it.
What's yours? What's hers is hers, and what's
Well,
yours is hers.
the cars are different. and I'll say the cars are different, honestly, on her behalf, because she feels the same way. She don't really want me driving her cars, and I don't really want her driving mine. She could take them, and it's not like I would cut, but truth be told, we don't really want to drive each other's cars.
right.
So she gives me the vet, and I take that, and I sell it for $68,000, and I bought it for $63,000 back in 17.
Nice.
So of course we own the car. So now I've got all the money. I wire the guy the money up to North Carolina. 2 days, I got all the cars done in 2 days.
Oh man.
And so I wire him the money, and he says, "Okay, it's in customs, and we'll have it in like a month."
Oh, that's
So a month later, I got a buddy here, flies me up there in his private plane. And, I was thinking first we need to, put it in a trailer to bring it home. But then I was like, you know what? It's brand new. I have to put braking miles on it. So I'm like, nah, I'm driving it back. So I drove it back from Wilmington, North Carolina. It was super cool.
that's cool. Now, have you done launch control in it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the best thing is, though, is you take it and put it on track, and then take the traction control on about 5 and just rip out of the hole, and it just bowls the tires all the way down the road. It's great. And when you put it on track mode, the RPM shifts, all that changes in the computer. And I put a full header system on it.
Okay.
But
yeah.
so it sounds, dude, it's insane.
That's wicked. Now, you were telling me earlier today too that you bought the wife something.
Well, no, I'll give her credit. Now she makes her own money.
Right. Right.
So she had a C8R that had pink chrome wrap on it that said Legends,
Mhm.
and I had Lambo doors installed on it. Cool car. But a buddy of mine gets a hold of me and says, "Hey, they've got a great deal on a Z06, and it's Roswell green, which is a beautiful color, black interior, green stitching." He's telling me the whole thing on it, and he said he'll make you a great deal on the car because of the circumstance of it. And so we get to talk. I get to talking to the guy, and tells me the bottom line on his price, and then how much he'd give me on the C8R. And so I'm like, I'm figuring it all out. I'm like, we're $6,000 apart. And he's like, "All right, let me see what I can do." And he comes back. He says, "I'll take $4,000 off. We can put it wherever you want, and then you're going to get a $4,500 credit for taxes on top of that." It's a bet deal.
Right.
So we went up there yesterday and had a buddy of mine trailer the C8R up there, and we had let him actually trailer the new car back because the weather and all. We didn't really want to start right off with all the grime up and all the components kind of thing.
Right.
But
Right.
so she's now got the green G-Wagon and the green Vet and then the purple Lamborghini.
That's cool.
So
Now, what is the Lamborghini? What model is that?
it's the Huracan.
Is that it?
What's that?
No,
the
that's
screen.
the
Is it
pink
purple?
Vet.
No, that's the Vet we traded yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna
That's
bring
right. I
up.
was in that in the Grinch.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what brought the whole the Grinch thing up.
It's a Technica.
Oh, okay.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's wicked.
The Grinch thing we started doing like I guess it was like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we did is he ordered me a quality Grinch suit. And so we go every year on Christmas Eve and we go and fill up gas tanks
Oh, that's
and then hand out money to people.
Mhm.
And when little kids come up and they get a picture with me and whatever, we slide them a 20.
cool. Oh, that's
And so
really cool.
I mean, we take like 10 grand and we're going to, we find the best way to distribute it to people.
Yeah.
So we kind of go in areas that are a little tougher areas and do the Grinch thing. The little kids love it and, get lots of pictures and they're, and then help the parents out a little bit and stuff like that. So we do that every year.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So did the Grinch thing come about because she felt that matched your personality perfect? Is that where?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think business wise, I can be really tough.
Well, I just
because
know
I ha-
how we
because I
like
have
to
to be.
harass our wives. They like to harass us back sometimes.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
just wasn't sure if she
Well,
presented it to you like that.
Initially we were doing, for a couple of years we were doing the GTR was the Hell Magna Green, just like the G-Wagon is. So I'd go around with the top down on that thing and do the Grinch thing and that. And then she'd film and then she'd be in the green G-Wagon following me. Then she'd get out in her little outfit and go and bless. We call it blessing people.
Right. Right.
So, she said I got to be meaner. She's like, the Grinch is mean. You got to be more mean. I'm like,
Give them the money and then take it back
I
and then
know.
run.
Right. So I mean, every now and then I'll give them a little shout back and but as a whole, we do it to get their attention, make them smile and bless them. And it's a good thing.
I feel like it'd be better to do that than Santa. Santa's out. Like, just play it out,
Yeah, Santa's playing. I don't want it to be Santa. I got to get fat and all that. I'm not doing that.
Our next segment is brought to you by Hard Knocks Racing. They're a group of dedicated motorcycle enthusiasts since 1998. They're your go-to for Campfire Moto official gear and will soon launch an apparel line of their own. They excel in crafting all kinds of custom decals, like this badass sign behind me, from custom signs to full bus wraps and office customization. In fact, check out this work Anthony did at one of the well-known Japanese manufacturer's office who will remain nameless. They also crafted awards for prestigious events such as the Perry Mountain 24-hour race, Mill Creek Spring Classic, Seika Hair Scramble Series, and many more for local racetracks in the Southeast. Check out hardknocksracing.com or give Anthony D'Amico a call at 404-717-2480.
Is this a track dog?
I don't know who that dog is.
Really? So I heard you say that earlier, and I just thought you were joking because it's
No.
just hanging around.
No, I think it lives over there in one of the houses.
I got you.
That's funny.
He is as sweet as can be.
I know. She'd probably like, take me home, please.
A little
'Cause
dirty.
I don't think they let her in the house. So she wanders around. Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't suck up to me. But yeah.
Hey, he's the one talking about wanting a dog. I just got a puppy.
There's your dog right
and
there. Just needs a bath. That dog will load up and go in a minute. To have a good home. Ain't that right,
She
Pop?
seems sweet
No, she is sweet.
until she fumbles through the cords and rips everything.
I know, right?
out.
She's like, sorry about the podcast. But car-wise, so let's see. So right now we got the AC Cobra, which is a complete ground-up rebuild. It was built in '91. Beautiful. It was okay car, but now it's phenomenal.
Right.
I mean, literally everything on the car is new. Complete motor, wiring harness, engine compartment, Tremec 6-speed. I mean, digital gauges. I mean, it's nice. We got an ACR Viper.
Right.
That's an 09 triple black 104.
That's cool.
That's a fun car. 67 big block, 427, 400 horse, all original factory air car, factory bolt-ons, factory side exhaust, power windows.
That's
It's every option you can get.
Right.
And I got the original hard top as well as the convertible top.
Nice.
What else is up in there? I've got the 96 Grand Sport, one of the original ones. That was my little girl's favorite car. So even when the recession hit, I took that and pushed it up in the corner. I said, all the banks can kiss my behind. This car won't get sold. So it's got 21,000 original miles on it.
Man.
It's the red, white, and blue with the red interior and the black wheels.
Yep.
Got the LT4 in it.
I think I've seen that one.
Six-speed car.
You have a picture of that one on Facebook somewhere along the way.
It's a beautiful car. Let's see, what else is there? You got the Porsche. You got a 62 Eldorado Caddy.
Yeah.
It's like 30 feet long.
Right.
It's got the original 390, original paint, factory air car, power lumbar, power seats, power windows, power side windows, mechanical cruise.
That's cool.
It's a super cool car. We got that from a guy in San Francisco, which is really cool because it was this guy who's like 84 years old. And we go up there and we go to buy it. And he's telling us that he lived in San Francisco and him and his wife would drive to Sonoma, which is Napa Valley, right across the Golden Gate.
Yep.
They did that every Sunday for like the last 40 years. He dies. Okay. Apparently he's got some heathen kids because he was not going to let that car go to the kids. He said they'll just either beat it up or they'll just sell it for nothing for the money. He's like, I wanted to end up with it in the right home. So Jolynn's bawling and he's bawling and I'm back there trying not to bawl. Everybody's crying and it was super cool because the guy loved the car.
Right.
And Jolynn loves the car. She named it Marilyn.
Was that after his wife?
No, Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, right.
honestly.
I mean, that would be like the perfect ending to the story, but no. But
so maybe if you write the book to change it for that.
Yeah, no, we'll give him the nod. I got to find out the wife's name.
Yeah.
So then, of course, the new vet that just got there. So I think there's like 8 or 9 cars right now. We got rid of 4, and then we just built the 5,000 square foot kind of car barn man cave.
Right.
So the biggest thing was, we're going to get that done, and then it's got room for actually 20 cars up there.
Right.
So we want to get that done because right now they're all jammed in my 3,000 square foot building where the front half is a big home gym. So it's like, all right, we're good right now. She swapped one for another one, so we didn't really pick up anything. Oh, we got that Trans Am. We got Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am about
cool.
3 months ago.
Oh, nice.
Oh, dude, it's beautiful.
I know that one.
Yeah.
When I tell you the paint and the bodywork on this thing is insane. It's got 22s on it. I mean, it's set down. The suspension's set down. Beautiful car. It's right now. It's getting the carburetor rebuilt. But we're gonna probably end up putting a sniper on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it's just reliable.
Right.
The Cobra's got a sniper on it, and.
Are you gonna get the semi truck to go with it too?
Oh, that's right. That's another one we got. So we got the the Jeep Gladiator.
Uh-huh.
So we were out in Vegas at a
we were jumping that last time.
Yeah, that's right. And this company bought 25 of the Gladiators, and that brand new, and then they did a Smokey and the Bandit theme on them. So it's got the it's got the big Phoenix on the hood. It's got the web tires and gold trim. It's all black and gold. Dude, it's bad. It's a beautiful Jeep. So we went to a car show before we sent it to get the carburetor done and brought the Jeep and the Trans Am to the car show. Dude, it was cool.
That's
and of course,
cool.
she drove the Trans Am.
Oh,
and it's got the slap shifter in there.
Oh, nice.
She's trying to figure out. I said, you just got to hit that thing, And she figured it out. She's
slap
a driver.
me like you slap me. Okay,
right.
Now.
I'm too quick. I'm old, but I'm quick.
Like she would try
to slap me.
Okay,
that's
sorry.
Right. My bad. She'd be more like a throat punch kind of woman. Yeah. She's not really.
She leaves bruises not where anybody can see. She's smart about it.
When she gets mad, I'm kind of like backing up, like holding my throat, like I know if I take it down, she's fixing to. So.
You ever mess with her like, hey, calm down, roid rage, or something like that? Like, just, with the muscular she is.
No, I'm not.
like that's telling your wife to calm down.
Look, I'm not trying to, if she gets, see, that's why I'm building the man cave, right? Because she's like, she didn't understand how big the building was going to be. You go in, it's got like 28-foot ceilings. It's huge. It's like an airport hangar.
Right.
And so it's all black. And so One day it's not there, just a slab. Then the next day it's there. They build it. And she's like, what is that? I'm like, the building. She's like, that's your man cave. I'm like, I told you it was 5,000 square feet. I thought I got a good deal on it. I paid for it before the end of last year. I saved like 30 grand. She's like, but that big building is yours. I said, yeah. And she's like, so the next thing you know, she's telling her friends, yeah, Keith's building his own house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, well, when you get mad at me, which she don't get mad that much, but when she does, she don't really want me there at the house, but she don't want me to leave the farm. I'm like, but I'm not just going to go to the office because it's not, there's nowhere to really kick back, watch TV and stuff. I said, so I'll build a really super nice man cave in my car barn. I said, then if I'm gone long enough, you miss me, you come visit me. She's like, yeah, I don't think I'm coming over there.
See, I would have said, did I say cave? I meant mansion. It's a mansion. That's what I meant to say.
They just got like a 20 by 25 gun room that's 8-inch thick concrete, 6-inch concrete across the top. And then the whole side is like full bathroom, shower, everything. Door opens into the man room. And it's got full kitchen, gas stove, cabinets, countertops, high top, and then couches and chairs and big screen on the back wall. The whole front wall is glass. So when all the cars are out there, inside you can see all the cars and stuff in the car barn.
That's cool.
Well, next time you have a ride day, is that done? Or is it still getting work on?
They framed it all in now. The building's done. The concrete's all done on the big gun room, and then they framed in, but there's no sheetrock or nothing yet.
Oh, so it's just a gun room. It's not like a shooting range.
I don't know. This is just for like, it's like, it'd be like a safe room / armory.
Gotcha. No, I was going to say
I've got a shooting range out here.
Oh, well, then perfect. I can still bring her. I was say because my kids, he's gonna love the kid track, and my wife's big into guns. So
I've got like 7 different spots where we had custom targets made, and you can shoot anywhere from 25 yards to 500.
Oh, dang!
Yeah, she'll like that.
And they're high quality. I mean, bing. I mean, they're nice.
Yeah,
they're not.
Cool.
It's not like paper. You can keep knocking them down. They're not going nowhere.
And also, the next time we're probably gonna have to bring the Bronco. You need to tell them about that thing with the high point trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Is that ready yet?
They're still working on a transmission, but my brother-in-law does some hot rod stuff, and Dad had a Bronco with a 302 in it forever. He's the second owner of it. Painted up to match the trailer.
It's early 90s, right?
Late 80s.
Late 80s.
I think it's 89.
So it's a full size.
Oh yeah.
So 87, 88, 89, something like that.
Right before the OJ Bronco.
Yep.
But they
tamed that down.
He got a hold of a 351 long block, fresh, and then aluminum heads, Holley EFI on it and everything, and ECAM. Just went through it and kind of did the cool stuff to it and everything. And now the Bronco, we're sitting at a red light and it's hitting the lick, thumping the pavement and everything.
What kind of wheels on it? How big?
He's got the block style 18-inch Lightnings on it, and so he had to do the wheel adapters and everything. But then he's got some BF Goodrich on it, so it's kind of the 4-wheel drive with the Lightning wheels.
Right on.
Yeah, it's it's got the cam in it and everything. So let's sit there at the red light and thump. They're still tinkering on the transmission. Hopefully that'll get buttoned up here soon, so that way we can start pulling the trailer again.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Out. Did you ever see the old High Point trailers? You might have seen one at some point in time. But
I did.
Like they're it was really neat. They got one of the first.
They still look old school.
Or whatever. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't make them anymore. They haven't made them for probably 30, 40 years.
I don't
bet.
think so, and I hardly ever see one around.
Yeah, but it does match the Bronco. Perfect.
Oh, and by the way, thanks for calling me out on your podcast last time when I was on, because Dad had a talk with me about Mr. Pennington that brought the Bronco down, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're like, whoa, dude. And Dad's like, dude, come on now. You met the man. I've told you about him several times.
That brought the trailer down, you mean?
Right, yeah, brought the trailer down. And yeah.
Well, when I had him on, he got to clear that up. I remember.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we were good there.
But Mr. Pennington actually delivered our High Point trailer for my dad. So that was pretty cool. Penton, sorry.
Jesus, I was like, Pennington does not sound right. Yeah,
Mr.
John
Penton.
You're going to get in trouble again.
I know.
That's funny.
Yeah. So we touched on this earlier too, and I'm getting close to the end here. In case you're like, God, man,
Let me tell you a quick story on the targets.
Okay.
Okay. So I have these custom targets made, right? They're expensive. And each target setup weighs like 700 pounds. Okay. And so I'm down in Florida working, and this truck is delivering the targets, right? And so they pull up and they get to Jolene. My office tells Jolene that somebody's got, something to be delivered. And so she comes out, she says, well, what do you got? He says, well, you're going to need a forklift. He's like, well, what do you got? He's like, I got shooting targets. She calls me up. She's like, there's some guy here that's delivering some targets you had made. I'm like, oh, cool. They're there. She's like, who buys targets? You have to use a forklift to unload. They weigh 700 pounds a piece. And I'm like, he wasn't really supposed to tell you that part.
Damn it, I told him to make sure I'm there when I get delivered.
No, just get Lupe. Leave her out of this. Lupe got it. Lupe put them in concrete everywhere. So they're different spots of the farm. So it's super cool.
Yeah. All right, so what were some of the issues and things that happened trying to get the place open to the public?
The track?
Yeah.
Well, I never really thought about it as open to the public.
Yeah.
So,
in which our buddy Lane, I don't know if you know Lane Wilson, he ran into the same thing.
I know Lane.
And he never had it open to the public, but definitely ran into same roadblocks and stuff. So we know the story and the tale a lot of times. I'm curious if it's parallels.
Well, part of what we think, honestly, is that I was married before, and neighbors think they know what's going on in your life and in your house. And they have no idea. And so after I got divorced, I don't know, 10 months later, Jolene moves here. And so they decided they didn't like Jolene. So there was a big mess with that. And they didn't even know her. First of all, Jolene could have beat them all up, but she didn't. She was nice. But next thing you know, I've got the marshals. The track's been here for 30 years. Next thing I know, she moves here within 2 weeks, and we were riding all the time. The marshals come out here and they shut us down. And I'm like, I don't understand. I was trying to figure out what the story was. And so it was a couple things. So somebody locally called on us. And we think that part of that is another promoter, motocross guy that's in the area, we'll say. And the only reason I think that it's probably true is that the certain entity made a rap song about my motocross track, and basically had a lot of things to say, and in reality probably almost got drug around the neighborhood by some guy with tattoos and a mohawk.
Yeah.
So marshals come out, they shut us down, and so I got to go to court. And so I go to court, I have to hire an attorney, and basically what they said is that because you're showing it CKB not friends and family, CKB motocross is all I called it.
Yeah.
And I never had anybody pay, and it probably cost me $35,000-$40,000 to keep it prepped up throughout the year.
Yeah.
Because we were riding all the time, so I was having it prepped like every 4 or 5 days, and so I probably lost, I don't know, $25,000 a year to have it nice for my friends. And so I go to court, and some of my neighbors were there. And so the neighbors were, all of a sudden, they had a problem with the track, even though the track was here before any of them, before they ever moved here. And it had been here ever since they've been here.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, the truth, I don't really know. But the judge basically fined me $15,000, told me I can't have public riding there. And he said, because there's a church that's within a mile, and there's a residence that's within a mile. And so those two things, because they said, you have no business license. I said, well, just give me a business license then. No, we can't do that. I'm like, but this is all my property. I said, if I want to have people over my property to ride damn dirt bikes, I will. And so it turned out that the only leg they had to stand on was that my Facebook page said CKB Motocross.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tell the marshal, I say, after it's all said and done, I paid my fine and I'm shut down. I said, so you're telling me that if this was, I don't know, CKB friends and family motocross, and that we don't charge money, and that you can ride for free, it's friends only, no, you have to be friends. There's nothing you can say. And he was like, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I could say. I said, why don't you just tell me that in the first place? Charge me dang 15 grand and then,
and
$8
a
grand for
lawyer.
a damn
Yeah.
attorney. And so, because the noise ordinance is, in reality, I can make as much noise as I want from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
So the neighbors really have nothing they can say if it's just my friends. And so I tell the marshal, I said, well, unfortunately for you and fortunately for me, I got like 5,000 motocross friends. So I'm not your normal person in terms of how many friends I have. And so, so basically I've tried to be nice to the neighbors. And I said, that's why I do it like every 8-10 weeks. I'm considerate of them now, which now they've all basically found a way to apologize and everything else. And I just put out there when I do my posts, I'm like, friends only, no haters, just to the point of being stupid. And, the sheriffs will come out because every now and then you'll have a random
I remember
person.
like when it first, after that happened, coming here for a ride and you were doing donations. And I remember like they tried to shut us down, but we figured it out.
They couldn't, they
and
couldn't
I think
do
as
it.
I was rolling through, they were still here or just got here.
Well, the sheriffs, they don't even come at all now, but they would come if these people would call and they'd pull in and they'd be like, we got some calls, so we had to come out here.
Yep.
And I'm like, they're all my friends. They're like, we get it.
Yeah.
And I said, so there's nothing you can do. And they said, you're right. And then they'd say, we watch for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm like, absolutely.
You want to be my friend too?
Right. So
You want to get a bike?
so now they don't even come around, and you don't hear anything from any of them. And I could probably do it more than I do, but then it would lose the ambiance,
Right.
of CKB's open and we have a good turnout like we did today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard several people go, man, I wasn't expecting there to be this many people out here after how much rain you got yesterday too. It is like, man.
I had like 30 messages from people saying, hey, is it going to be good? Is it going to be okay? I'm like, dude, it's great.
Yeah.
So
They're so used to people just saying that to say that to bring in like money from a
see,
track.
I don't care about the money.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like people are still, I felt like would be worried about that.
Yeah.
I was the one that made the comment about break out the backpack blowers.
Right.
And you were like,
I get like 30 of my guys. We'll fix it up.
you'd said you get 3 to 4 blowers, and I was gonna say like they'd prefer to be called by their names.
I know,
but I was
right?
like, I'm not gonna do that one.
That's funny.
Transform your comfort with Innovative Mechanical LLC, specializing in HVAC service for residential and commercial properties. They provide expert installation, maintenance, and repair. Their certified technicians ensure top-notch service, whether it's air conditioning, heating systems, or indoor air quality solutions. Serving Georgia since 1999, they prioritize customer satisfaction with prompt, reliable service at competitive rates. From routine maintenance to emergency repairs, trust Innovative Mechanical LLC for all your HVAC needs. Give them a call at 770-726-7407 or visit innovativemechanical.llc.com to schedule service and experience unparalleled comfort today.
So there's got to be some funny equipment issues, and it probably is going to not even be track related. But when I was talking with Keith at Monster, that was one thing that I had to bring up. So I'm sure you've got to have some just hysterical equipment moments at some point. Something breaking stupid, somebody doing stupid something with it, rolling it over, almost dying on a water truck, which you don't have here.
No, I'd say
Nothing.
probably the only thing that would kind of stands out. Unfortunately, it was me on the machine, but we're up in Atlanta. And we're on this big slope, and we're popping out these small pine trees so we can hydroseed the whole slope.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it's actually on a job, and I'm up there, and it's such an incline that I had to have the blade all the way up, keeping me from rolling down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm kind of swinging out here, popping these things out of the ground, and so as I'm popping them out, they're about this big around, so they're laid out kind of in front below me, and I lifted the blade to move again, and the tractor took off on me, and the arm's way out here, and I'm rolling across these logs, and so I go all the way to the bottom of this thing, and literally, I just got the boom around to the backside before I come down. Like I was 200 feet up a hill.
Ooh.
And I came down full speed, and it hit, flipped, and thank God I had the belt on. And so I'm hanging upside down, and my guys are trying to get me off and off the tractor. And then I'm like, just cut this, cut the seatbelt. I mean, I'm sitting there, but it was that was not a good situation.
Yeah. What about with is it Lupe? Him figuring out the track, because I remember even Shu saying he's like, man, he's got a guy that he does it pretty damn good.
You make sure and tell Shu that Lupe is now, he was the student, he is now the master.
The master, yeah.
Shu just needs to, stick to the fresh stuff, but leave the remake to Lupe. I told him that the other day. He was so mad. He's like, man, that ain't funny. I'm like, it's the truth, bro. Lupe is good. He's never been on a dirt bike, and look at how he faces jumps and stuff.
Yeah, no, he told me that a while ago, 2-3 years or something we were talking about. And he was like, yeah, I barely go down there anymore. You don't need me.
Lupe's been with me 21 years.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's just an awesome equipment operator. So he figured out with Matt what the faces needed to be and all. And, I mean, he's got it memorized in his mind.
Yep.
So, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Lupe Prep.
So one of the final things, and said I did pull some pictures if you wanted to go through them, and you touched on a little bit, is the broken neck. What happened with that?
Well, it was the downhill.
The one right here?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, because here's that. No. Down a little bit. There we go. I found this beautiful picture of you.
That's as I'm starting to recover.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought this was kind of recent, but I thought that you'd said something about you broke your neck, too, with road racing or something like that.
The year before, I got between 1 and 2. Arm was dead. This was actually at Roebling Road. And,
which turn?
5-6.
Okay.
And experts took off first.
That's the right and to the left.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's where you go right, then it swings back left before it goes down into that bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a 2-wave start. Experts were out front, so I pulled a whole shot with the expert group, and me and one guy checked out. Right off the bat, we left everybody. And apparently, on that first lap, a novice crashed through 5-6, and it ground through his side case cover and left a swath of oil through the entire corner.
Lovely, yeah.
So me and the guy come trucking through on our second lap, and he's on me. We're hooked up, and we're moving. And I just came around that corner and straightened up, and then hooked left to go down to the downhill. And as soon as I did, the bike shot out like it was on ice. So I'm literally riding off the track, and I'm thinking, it's a low side. I mean, sucks, but it ain't really a big deal. I'm holding the bars, and both tires hit the dirt. They fling me up in the air, and they catapult me. So it's like jumping off a high dive, and you don't know if you want to go head first or feet first.
Right.
So I went head first, no hands out, straight on my head, snapped my neck. And then before I could look up, I see a shadow, and then I can't breathe. So I'm sucking air, I'm laying on the ground, and apparently the guy in second hit the same oil.
Oh,
his bike's toppling. When I hit, his front wheel crushed all the ribs on my right side and punctured my lung. So I'm laying there, it wasn't fun. And so right arm was dead. They stick me on a helicopter, cut my leather. That's the crash that happened right before the next time I recovered, and we were at Little Talladega when I wouldn't let them cut my leathers off. Because I had, my Speedies with my barnacle bill hump, and they cut them off me. And so I'm Savannah Memorial, and, it's just like the TV show. You land on the roof, and they cut all your clothes off, and ask you all the questions. Well, it snapped between 1 and 2. So came back, got it plated, arm started working. That was a pretty quick recovery. And then here.
So it was the next year?
No, it was a couple years later.
Oh, okay.
And then, because in 2015, Halloween day, we're out here riding. And so we come through here, I hit the downhill, and I just had a brain fart. And I didn't throw a whip. I just launched. So I landed way out in the flat just before the tabletop.
Oof.
Yeah. So flat bottom.
And that gets some acceleration holes in it, too. So if you hit one of those wrong, I mean, he saw me one time dance pretty good. I was you just go around him.
I was like a rock out of the sky. So I'm coming from the elevation of the jump straight to flat bottom. And I knew I was too far out there. So I'm preparing for the hit, and I was on one of the factory KTM 450s, and it bottoms out, and then it springs up and hits the face of the I sprung up and hit the face of the
Table.
The table.
Yeah.
So that flings me up. I'm holding onto the bike, whiskey throttle, and I land straight up and down in the berm. Is where I landed. And when it hit, it threw me forward and stuck and slammed me face first into the dirt.
And that's some soft dirt there that'll make you stop quick.
It snapped 3 spots in my neck.
Mm.
And so I'm unconscious. And they get to me, start rubbing my sternum, bring me out. And from that point right then, I had no feeling anywhere in my body.
Mm.
So the paramedics get there, take me to the hospital, ICU, I was in there, 4.5 weeks. And pretty quick, my legs came back, but the upper body was like almost a month. And then they ended up plating it all together, and basically I rehabbed myself for the next year.
That's kind of wild because it's almost like most of the things that you hear, it's like more of this will come back first.
Right.
Legs.
Well, I had what they called central cord syndrome.
Okay.
So, like if you looked at my MRI right now, above 3.4, it's black, and then it's white. At 3.4, then it's black the rest of the way down. And so if you're ever to read up on central cord syndrome, it's paralysis from the chest up, and it's hypersensitivity of skin. So it felt like somebody, if you touched my skin or even a shirt, that someone was ripping the flesh off your arm.
Oh.
So you can't move, but it feels like they're ripping meat out of you.
Jeez.
So that was
That's wild.
yeah. It was wild.
That's nuts.
So a year later to the date, so when I was in the hospital, I lost from 215, and when I came out, I was 163.
Oof.
And shoulders turned in, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
And then I ended up rehabbing myself because I still had to run a business. And the interesting thing is that when I came out, I could move them, but I couldn't lift them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't touch my face. I couldn't feed myself. So a kid that I actually got off of heroin who was out in the West Coast, I had him called and contacted and said, I got you off heroin. You're going to come help me. So I flew him out, and he took care of me for the next 3.5 months.
Cool.
So he put me in the passenger seat and put on the seatbelt, drive me to South Carolina where the crews were. He'd help feed me. He'd help bathe me. We'd go to that kid right there, Gregory. And so we would we'd take in, once I go see my people on the jobs, we'd find a gym, and I'd just walk on a treadmill 1.5 miles an hour. And I had that little thing that was like the handles with the little spring, and I could do.
Oh, yeah.
And then I put it over here. And that's what I did all day.
Right.
Until it started to come back. And, after months, I started to lift some weights again and eating good and started to gain some weight. And a year later, I get a full release from the neurologist. I come back out here, right? There's a group of friends. I get on the KTM. I do a couple laps. I feel terrible, feel awkward, and they're smoking me. And I'm mad, right? Jolene's famous last words, just don't show off, right? As she's going to go shopping or something, she's like, just don't show off. Man, I'm not going to show off. I'm just going to want to ride.
Yeah.
So the KTM gets a flat tire. So I take it back, grab the Yamaha 450. I get on that, like, man, this thing feels pretty good. I'm running some laps. And next thing you know, I'm on the tail end of the pack. We take a break, the next lap, the next go out, I'm in the pack. We go a whole nother session. I'm leading the pack. And then the next session, I'm leaving the pack. That bike right there.
I was gonna say, so were you doing one-footers by the end of the day like you're doing right here?
Well, we went out and we're doing whips on the step up. And so I tell my buddy, it's kind of like, hold my beer, watch this.
Yeah.
So same jump, step up. And I go up, and I throw a whip. It's pretty decent. And I'm like, all right, let me turn around, go back down, do it again. That one a little bit better. I was like, all right, just one, Eddie, my buddy Eddie, just one more. And so
He gonna do one.
Famous last words, just one more. And so I turn around and I go, and instead of landing straight, I land just at a little bit of I didn't get it all the way back. But normally, either of you, it would hit and you go, and it'd straighten out. And you would
You
probably
didn't
want
have
to
the muscle for it.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It's still not there. The fast twitch to be able to hang on.
Yep.
I can't do it.
Right.
And so
I used a few of those on the step up today.
it took the bars out of my hands. And so the next thing you know, I'm fourth gear pinned on the back side of the step up, and I'm on the back of the seat.
Oh,
And
no.
I can't get to the bars. So you know what's coming next. I'm going to crash. So I'm sitting back waiting. It starts head wobbling, and then it throws me off, pitches me, land right on the side of my head again. So I'm laying there. Eddie comes over. He's like, dude, you're okay? You know, I'm kind of checking everything. I'm like, yeah, everything's good, you know. And so I got some good road rash. And, you know, I said, I think that I'm done for today. He's like, all right, cool. So they keep riding. I go home, don't take a shower. I mean, I'm not feeling good. I get in the bed. I'm kind of sitting there. Jolene walks in, and she says, hey. And I'm like, hey. And she's like, why aren't you riding? Everybody's still out there. I'm like, yeah. I said, you know, I had enough for today. And she, you know, she backs it up and she says, crashed, didn't you? I'm like, just a little get off, wasn't a big deal. You know, I said, I'm just, you know, a little bit sore, you know, and she's like, were you showing off? I'm like, I wasn't showing off. I said, I had a little get off. So, of course, the next day I can barely move. I'm all beat up and I'm all bruised up. And so, and she says, so she says to me, she says, I would never tell you you can't ride. She said, at that time, you know, we'd only been married, you know, for a short time. And she said, but what I'll tell you is that they don't pay you to do this anymore. She says, and I would like to have a few years of you healthy, and then us being able to travel and have fun and do all this versus either it killing you or pushing you in a wheelchair. She says, which I don't really want to do.
Right.
And I was like, all right, so that makes sense. And so I thought about it, you know, and I thought, which leads me into the track of what we do. I thought, you know, I could probably host rides and live through the riders. And then most of the riders know that I used to ride and I was decent. And I could probably enjoy that. So I took and sold all the bikes. One guy came and bought everything I had, you know, and I don't have the urge to get on a bike.
So no street bikes at all anymore, or dirt bikes?
All I have is a 57 Panhead Harley Suicide Shift and a killer Softail. But people are getting killed every day on the streets. Every time we go ride, it's like,
I'm not a big fan of riding on the street at all anymore.
You know, someone else died. I'm like, I'd rather go 200 miles an hour in a car on the Hartley Bridge exit versus get ran over because I know I can ride. The people that are dying, it's generally not their fault. So we got these 3 nice Harleys, and I can't ride a street bike. You know, she told me, I don't know, 4 years ago, she was like, go have get you a nice race bike, have it all prepped out, and go do some track days. I'm like, that don't work like that.
Yeah.
No, I said, because I would go ride, and I can wholeheartedly tell you, I think I would probably be pretty quick still.
Yep.
And then I would come back, order 4 bikes, hire a mechanic, get a race rig. I'm going Moto America. You know, and I said, so I know my weaknesses, and I just know that that's not something I can do a little bit of.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, motocross is different because I know that I would end up hitting that spot, and that's not smart for me. Road racing wise, that wouldn't be a fear of mine.
Yeah.
But I know that I'd be all in again. Next thing you know, I'm, you know, spending on $200,000 a year and wrecking $80,000 bikes and have to probably buy them myself now.
Yeah.
That part ain't no fun.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's not. Well, we'll hit up a few of these real quick. I think we can blast through what I had last pretty quick. See if they strike any memories or if there's any cool stories that go along with them.
That was just, you know, I mean, that was my R6. That was a fun race. I did good in all my pro racing. But, you know, just, I mean, it was super cool to be, you know, to be competitive. That's the 750 that I high-sided off of.
Oh, it was looking like the
Little
same bike in
Talladega.
the thing.
Yep, that's the bike.
So I can only see them in the small thumbnails.
Again, all the times road racing were just great. Turn 1, Daytona.
One thing that that Billy Eisenhower told me about it-
117 horsepower.
Yeah. he said that he hated every time going around the lap to go into the big banks. Because I've done Roebling, I've done a handful of tracks and stuff. That he said at Daytona, you come on the bank, you just know it's coming. You end up with this bruise.
Oh yeah,
right here down the center, where your chest
the
is just
fastest
getting
line is
hammered.
about a foot off of the top of the wall.
Yeah.
So when you're in sixth gear, wide open, and you're not even steering the bike. You're literally just wide open, and you got your head down, and it's pounding your chest. And by the end of the weekend, it's a big bruise on your entire chest.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of cool.
Well,
it's like,
that's why we do this.
you know,
shit.
to know why you have that.
So I did randomly see this picture, and the only reason I bring it up is because I love this bike. My wife thinks I'm an idiot for it, but the color, and it's tough to tell because of the picture, but that's the 05.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the more like a sparkly green, not Kawasaki green.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, that was a great bike. I got it basically on pawn from somebody. Yeah. People bring me all kinds of stuff. It's great.
Dude, I love those bikes for whatever
Motorcycles,
reason.
guns, I mean, you name it. But yeah, that was a good bike. That was fun. Good wheelie machine. You could ride wheelies for days on that.
So
half pipe Kempton at St. Petersburg, Florida.
Nice.
Oh, we're at in St. Pete.
That's off of
Alderman.
There's a skateboarder named John Grigley who made it really big in the skate world. Ended up out in California, but he had this massive half pipe in his backyard. I was the only bicycle he would let ride that ramp. Everybody else was skaters, but because I could go and just tear that thing up, he was kind of like, you know, this kid's crazy. Kind of thing.
You're cool. You can do
So
this.
I was the only BMX bike he would let on his ramp.
That's neat.
So that was pretty cool.
I love how 80s this picture is, or late 70s. I wasn't gonna judge or
Well, it was
ask,
like,
but
y'all were talking
early
about
80s.
Rad earlier. It looks like the opening scene to Rad where you get the bike pancaked
but
out.
the no helmet, somewhat of the mullet, but not quite a mullet.
Right.
You know, like just everything about it. And just the silver BMX bike is just like
that bike right there,
textbook 80s.
When my wife got to a point where she's like, you know, what do you buy somebody that has everything, right? So she saw this picture and she got with my little brother and they identified every component on that bike.
Oh, no shit.
And then she went and my little brother went and found somebody that could locate all the correct exact parts
and put it
and
together.
had it built for me.
That's awesome.
And it's up in my office
That's
with
so
about
cool.
10 other vintage BMX bikes. But that one there, the one they had me done, I've actually taken to the skate park in downtown Macon and went and read their half pipes and stuff, even as the old cat.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I don't think there's this one we hadn't gotten.
That's
there.
Savannah.
I love turn 11 or 12, whatever the final turn before coming onto the straightaway.
Oh, it's just pinned. And your bike's walking all the way to the edge. I destroyed one right there.
Coming out of that?
Yeah, and I was going up the front straightaway at over 100 miles an hour, flipping from side to side like a damn pancake, so it didn't wear through my leathers.
Yeah.
My leathers were
like you feel it starting to heat up on one
flip
side,
over.
but then you're like, okay.
My leathers had like no paint after that crash. It was pretty funny.
Have you ever seen Roebling or been there, Jaron?
No.
Fun track.
You literally, it's 3/4 mile long straightaway.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time that you are not even halfway, you are topped out.
Yeah.
And then you still have another long way to go, at least 1/4 mile, maybe more,
Before you start getting on the
before you
brakes.
have to even need to worry about braking.
Jeez.
And then it's just a long sweeping first turn. It's a lot of fun.
It sounds like it'd be fun.
Oh, that even reminds me, because he's told me Chris Steele, did you ever race with him at all?
I think I did.
Yeah, Chris has told me some wild stories going into turn one and brakes failing and just into the
I had a
woods
buddy that his brakes, we were side by side going into one, and next thing I know, he went took off into the woods, destroyed his bike.
Yeah,
brakes failed.
That's
and
what happened
he
to
had
him,
nothing.
too.
He couldn't even turn the bike in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking back like, where'd they go? You know.
And here's some of the street bikes that you were talking
Yeah.
about.
So that on the left is the 57 Pan Suicide Shift, and then hers is a 02 Custom Bobber. That when we got that, it was a Suicide Shift bike too, but it had a racing clutch in it. So it was It was very finicky. It was either on or off.
Right.
Mine you could take with your foot and, let the clutch out. And, hers wasn't like that. But being alpha like she is, she said, I'm going to master this suicide. So she did. I'll give her credit. She learned it, and she left it that way about 45 days to prove her point. And then after she proved her point that she could do it, she said, all right, now have it put back normal. And she went ahead and at that point was just like, I showed I can do it. But those are two of the ones that are up there in the, up in the barn.
Those are sick looking.
Yeah, they're actually King Baby bikes. So the jewelry company, King Baby, these bikes have been all over the world for photo shoots. I was in there buying her a bracelet. She was with me, and these bikes were behind the sofa that I was sitting on. So we're sitting there, and I said to the girl, Tanya, I said, how much are the bikes? She's like, bikes aren't for sale. I said, everything's for sale.
Right.
Right. And so she's like, so Jolene pipes up, and she says, he's serious, Tanya. She's like, for real? And I'm like, how much? And she's like, well, I'd have to talk to him about it and ask him. So she calls, and we're going back and forth, and by this time we're negotiating, but she said, he'd sell them to us. And so we're headed back from Nashville back to Georgia, and I'm texting and making a deal, and Jolene's behind me in her car, and I'm like, hey, I just made an offer on the bikes. And she's like, if he accepts it, you got to buy them. I'm like, I'm not making an offer. I'm not going to buy them. Right. So then the lady called me back, and Tanya's like, he said, because it's y'all, they'll sell them to you at what you offered. And honestly, it was probably $50,000 less than they're worth. And so I went back up there like the next Monday with a trailer and had the cash in a shaving bag. Made a deal, and we've had them ever since. Super cool bikes.
Yeah, they look really wicked.
But one of them is hers, right?
The one she's on, it's hers.
All right. So my buddies and I do this calendar every year where we.
I've heard about this.
You heard about this one? Yeah. We got where's, Chris Kiefer? Yeah, him and those are two other podcast dudes, and you might know this guy, McDermott McGrath. So if you want to, next time we're here, if I can somehow break into the garage without you knowing,
it's not even locked.
I just don't want to get shot if I'm in there. But
the only one you get shot, you get beat up.
You would worry about coming in the house with the Presa Canario. Oof. Under no circumstances do you want to try that.
What is that?
I think a dog.
The Presa Canario is a dog, and she's protective trained.
Ah, gotcha.
Dude, she loves us, but it's like Jolene said, even for the grandkids, it's not a family dog.
I gotcha.
It's a protection dog.
Is that this one?
No, that was my Dobie.
Yeah, I was going to say that
was Grinder.
Looked like a Dobie. Yeah. I love that picture. That's why I'm going to put it for the YouTube thumbnail. That tongue is ridiculous.
Super cool dog, too. Yeah, he was my buddy. Unfortunately, he got cancer, but great dog. The one that we got after he passed away ended up getting the Presa Canario.
Mm.
Oh, but yeah, Grinder was he was a nut, but he was, man, beautiful dog.
Well, that's really all the stuff that I got. You got any, unless you think of any other stories or things like that?
Dude, we could tell stories for the next 10 years.
That's
and then you'd go home and you'd be like, he's full of crap. That ain't none of that true.
Well, it's funny you said the thing about could be like a Hollywood or book, or people wouldn't think it's true, but like the scene where you just spin and everybody leaves you kind of thing. I was like, that literally is something that you would expect to be in a movie somewhere. And then especially if you get wrecked in the next turn.
Right.
So it's like,
right.
Yeah, that was basically like what somebody would write down in a movie.
I feel like the dog's coming back.
Yeah, she's
like, what time are we going?
Way home.
Like, guys, come on. Dude, I've got a sandwich sitting right there. She hasn't even touched it.
Really?
Yeah, it's been
She's
right
like,
there.
I'm not trying to. She's coming over to Dada.
Yeah.
You coming over to Dada, aren't you?
Let her know that she's
Steph to be like, nope, not even a little bit.
Look at her. She's like, just take me home. I'll be sweet. I promise. Hey, and you see who she's messing with.
Yeah, she knows. She knows. Well, dude, I appreciate everything that you do for the motocross community and just everything. Honestly, getting to hear the things you've done about so many people, it's great. So
we enjoy it.
No,
I mean, and
I think in a lot of ways that me and Jolene have things we're supposed to do.
Yeah,
and that involves helping people in whatever facet or capacity based on the person.
Yep.
You know, and, you know, whereas some things in life we're not as worried about because we're blessed, it gives us the opportunity to do a lot of things that maybe some other people can't do because they're restricted. So we feel very fortunate that we're put into a situation where we can do things for people that maybe some others wish they could.
Yep.
So,
Well, dude, thanks again for the time for this, and we'll be watching for the next ride. Hopefully, this guy will have all of his stuff and be allowed to where he can ride again.
right on, right on.
I told him this morning when we're rolling out here, I'm like, bro, I'm so jealous right now. The track looks so gorgeous.
Yeah, as we're rolling in, I go, dude, it looks like shit. I don't know. Like, I was trying to do something right for him, right? I was like, man, don't. This looks terrible.
What do they, the most of them call it? They call it Moto Heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the summertime when the grass is green and it's freshly mowed when y'all come. Then it looks, you know, it's all manicured, and we don't let it get all grown up and ugly. We keep it looking good.
Right.
Yeah,
You
like
know, so-
like the old paintings that led to, you know, all of us having to have that freaking grass that we have to take care of nice. Yeah. All those freaking old paintings and all that stuff. Can't remember the names of them, but all right. Well, we'll wrap
Super
this
cool.
up. I'll clip in some of my sponsors and one of my kids' stories and the outros and all that stuff. So be back in a few weeks. I don't know who I'm having on next, but I'll figure it out.
Right on.